I want the damn talent these people think I'm a bum. I want the damn talent these people think I'm a bum.
It's a dark night. It's a dark night. It's a night. It's a dark 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 night. It's a dark.
All right, this is King Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena. All right, guys, if my mic is too hot, let me know, all right? So I can fix the mic. And let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat. SSC, Sergeant, Iceman, Tupac 13, Rex, Marian G, JumpTube, Some Rando, Super Sardonic, Kevin Fuentes, Sean, The Don, Bonds, everybody, Rodrook Davis, of course, official boxing scorecard as well. Welcome to the show. Open Lines Friday. Anybody can join. The link is in the description. Actually, the link is not in the description, but the link is in the chat. So click the link if you want to join. We only have 10 spots open. I'm going to fix this 10 spots open. So, yep, first come, first served. We have somebody here. We have Jimmy. Jimmy, what's up?
What's going on, man? I'll jump out if we get a lot of people coming in. Give some people, if especially if we have some people who want to
No, Jimmy,
make some noise.
You have to stay, Jimmy. You have to stay.
Alrighty. Okay, brother.
Nah, as you wish. I mean, like, if you gotta go, of course. But
no, I was just figuring if we have somebody who wants to come on, make some
somebody
noise.
like I can make I'll increase the number of people if it comes to that, but you don't have to jump out. Anyways, all right. We also have Boom Boom here, LDBC representative, Rex, the radio. How do you call those guys that make all those sounds? No, you know what? Rex is like that guy from what's that movie?
Police Academy.
Police Academy. Yeah. It's a guy that makes all those sounds. Anyways,
Beatboxing.
Yeah. All right, let's begin. So, well, I mean, we had a show yesterday, another open line. So we talked about Virgil Ortiz. We can talk more about Virgil if you guys want the welterweight division overall. But also we have Magsayo against Ray Vargas. That's gonna be a great fight. We can start talking about that. You know, what do you guys think about that fight? Your thoughts? Who's the favorite?
Hold on, boom boom guy, representing LDBC.
There goes my credit score.
Hey, it's been hard. It's been hard listening to you guys the last couple of days. I was at work in and out. Jimmy said something that I think it was on Second Renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
He said it was a bunch, but this has nothing to do with boxing. But let me just get this off real fast. Jimmy said, "Oh my goodness, there was so many clans members and racist people in America, and it was mostly white people. So thank the white people for getting rid of all the racist people." He basically said white people got rid of all the clans members. And I just want to say, Jimmy, that was completely false. Please,
okay,
I need to retract it.
So who got rid of him?
Yeah, who got rid of him? Blacks?
Hey, we could talk about it on Second Renaissance.
All right.
But this is for boxing.
Yeah,
I just
I
wanted
gotta
to make
hear
that
Well,
clear.
then save it for Renaissance.
Jimmy,
Can we
Okay.
get the dog beater out of here, please?
All right. Hold on. Mr.
Jimmy,
BDA,
once-
Mr. BDA has informed me that he's going to be having a second Renaissance tomorrow. So you
There we
guys
go.
can.
Wait, let me tell Jimmy. Let me tell Jimmy. Once we talk about it, I'm going to need a retraction. Once I prove you wrong, I'm going to need a retraction.
No, you're
That's
right,
all I
dude. That's I took in school, dude. I forgot more about
Can't
American
wait to
history than most people know, including
You
political
beat
history.
dogs. No one cares what you say.
All right. Second Renaissance. I got you, Jimmy.
All right.
We'll have a
Tomorrow,
gentleman's debate.
before the fights,
We'll have a
obviously
gentleman's
before the
debate.
fights, we're going to have a Renaissance show. So, yeah.
And I think Jimmy's coming from a good place. That's why I want to have a gentleman's
Exactly.
debate with
That's
him.
okay. I hear you because I didn't mean nothing mean by it. I was just saying that
Oh, I know.
we're not. Yeah, we came from.
Bring your
We
boo-boo
changed
soon.
out. Everything changed, and we did. We had to, and I'm glad. And I thought we made great progress. Just sad people trying to bring us back. Okay, let's bring it to boxing, gentlemen.
Yes, please.
All right. What was I saying?
Oh,
Magsayo.
one
Okay.
more. Can I make one more comment? Can I
Yes.
make one more comment?
All right.
Logical man is straight up kisser. Oh my goodness. I have
Bro, here we
receipts.
go.
I have
You're
the
done.
time.
Dude,
and
you
dates.
don't want to debate.
No.
All you do is
Hey,
talk
let me
shit,
just
bro.
pull out one point. Let me just pull out one point. I
Looks
heard
like his
Logical Man
girlfriend,
over
Devin
the
Haney.
stream.
Ducking.
Let me hear. Hold on. Let me hear what he say. Let me hear what he say.
Let me just speak. I heard Logical Man making points after points after points on the streams the past couple of days. He said, "LT, I can't hear what you're saying. You're nonsense. You're bum." Soon as BDA said, "LT, I like you. You're so entertaining. You're a good person." Logical Man kissed his ass and said, "You know what, LT?" He changes 360. It says, "Oh yeah, I like LT. He's cool. He makes good points."
No, I
LT
listened to
I
that
really
thing.
see
No,
like
no,
you,
no.
so-
Let me talk.
No,
Let me talk.
no.
Let me talk, y'all. Let me talk. Let me talk. Weirdo. If LT mentally retarded ass say something correct that makes sense, unlike you, I won't be emotional and be like, "Oh well, I don't like him at all, so I can't agree with anything." I agree with some things LT says, and sometimes I don't agree with things he say. Simple as that. Me and you are not the same. Understand that? Boom, boom. You know your nickname.
All right.
You bashed him.
And he's on
You
welfare
bashed
too.
him, and then as soon as BDA changed his or he said something nice about LT, you followed right behind him. You do not stand on any points. So
Bro,
while you're on this show, stand
You're
on.
on welfare. Boom, boom.
You follow fucking dog fighters,
I
bro.
make
That's
$110,000
it,
a
exactly.
year. That
Thank
doesn't
you,
qualify.
logical man.
You have no morals anyway.
I'm
You
a
have no
construction
morals.
worker. I make
You follow
$110,000
KFC
a
and
year.
dog fighting. Nobody cares what you have to say.
You think I give a fuck? What you talking
So
about?
now that you're not talking to a poor black man, what else
All
is
right,
your
all right.
point? What are your other
Let's
Yeah,
start
you
with some
think-
boxing, then we can transition for
The
a little bit
welfare
to
check
something
came
else.
out, so he
let's
thinks he's
box,
bad now.
boxing. All right.
Hey, boom, boom. I see you on second Renaissance, man.
Yeah, second tomorrow. There's a second
Nah, I
Renaissance,
don't want to see
guys.
you. You're not a gentleman.
Well,
Because you're a
anyways,
fucking
you're not a
lame. You know, you
all
don't
right.
want to smoke. You always run.
I want to just give a
Yep,
shout
just
out
like
to
Devin Haney.
Iceman. Thank you for your contribution.
backflip
He says
bitch.
Iceman makes a good point. He says second Renaissance. That's true. Second Renaissance. All right. All right.
Where you been, Butcher? You've been in hiding, man. You've been gone for a while.
No, I hosted a show yesterday, and I showed up a little bit
That
on
was
the
at work.
Renaissance. Anyways,
What's the topic?
yeah, let's Magsayo. What's his name? Ray Vargas. A lot of people don't give. Well, not a lot of people. Some people have said that that Gary Russell Jr. win isn't that great of a win since Gary Russell was injured, and of course, this guy has huge layoffs, so they don't want to give Magsayo that much credit for beating a guy.
Who said that, Pucho?
Fuck, somebody yesterday. I don't remember who said that.
Bill DBC? Is that
no,
who?
no. Some guy
touch
on this
on that.
show. Some guy on this show. Fuck, I forgot his
I'll
name.
touch on that.
What do you guys think about that?
I
Magsayo
listen.
too, that's what I think.
Well, I just want to say I'm not that I agree wholeheartedly with it by no means, but all fighters, not just Gary, but you can't fight once a year and expect to maintain your dominance and your skill level. That's all. Not saying that's the reason why he lost the fight by no means. I'm just saying you could clearly see his. You look at him when he fought Lomachenko. His rate of work rate, his hand speed, just everything. It just fighting once a year. Sometimes not even that affects you. It just does. This isn't. It's like that thing. You can't be a You can't be a part-time gangster. You can't be a part-time boxer. Just not the sport to do. Ring rust is a real thing.
No, yeah,
I guess is all I'm trying to
it's
say.
logical, man. What's up, LT, man?
¿Qué onda, bro?
What's
Yeah,
up,
well,
Yo,
LT?
man, hey, man, Virgin Ortiz is number one, bro. You know what I mean? These kids are running away from Virgil Ortiz, bro. They're gonna end up
Especially
dropping
Ennis.
the belt, bro. Let's be real.
Nobody's calling him out, that's for sure.
Yep,
That's a
especially
fact,
Ennis.
man. Nobody's cutting him
You know,
out, man.
you never hear his name and anybody else's name. You never hear
Yeah.
anybody say, "Where the fuck is Virgil at?"
Hey, in the chat, SSC, thank you for your contribution. He says Virgil and Bam are the future of boxing. Well, they are Mexican or from Mexican descent, so yeah,
I
I
think
mean
Bam
they
needs
have
to
that.
gain 20
They have that
pounds.
going.
Bam
Popularity.
needs to gain. Bam needs to gain 23 more pounds, and I'll take him seriously.
Come on, man. You can't
Well, I mean-
disrespect him like that.
And you need to stop
That's all
dogfighting, and I'll take you seriously.
Nah, I like
Same
Bam,
thing.
bro.
I would say
He
the
needs to be
same
tight.
thing with Shakur Stevenson. Like I like him. I see he's good, but until you get to 135, I'm not going to take you serious. Which I think he
So
is
the Hall of
moving up.
Fame. So then the Hall of Fame should just do that too.
No,
Manny
but
Pacquiao
that's
didn't
me
start at
personally.
108. So Manny Pacquiao.
No,
he's
I mean,
finished.
Just
since,
an overbite. Nobody cares about him.
since Prince Nassim Hamed, the like featherweight and around those weight divisions, the featherweight division, junior bantam, super bantamweight division, they've been getting more attention though. That's what I think. That's been 20 years now. So yes, if you go even lower than that to like flyweight, yes, these guys are not that known.
Right,
They don't
they're
get
not
the
gonna be
credit they
taking you.
deserve, but I think it's changing. That's changing. With
I agree with
Chocolatito
you
Estrada.
100%.
Yeah.
They don't get the credit that they deserve because they're unknown. No one watches people that small. But you do hear about them. Like Inoue, yes,
Mhm.
I hear about him.
Mhm.
But he would have more fans if he actually came over to the United States and actually fought somebody at 118. But since he only fights in Japan, I mean, he's still great. You're going to hear his name.
He came
He's on the
over and
pound for
fought
pound list.
Maloney.
That's it.
So there's that. He did come over and I want to say he got the belt from Maloney, but he beat him, came over here, so he has.
Oh, he did? Oh, I haven't. I haven't heard
Come
about
on,
that.
man. Well, then why would
Maybe
you
once
say
he
that?
got recognized, maybe one because I don't know the guy. He's unknown to me. So now that he has all this hype, let him come over now and he'll build a fan base. Just like Haney got more fans going to Australia.
But boom, right? Think about it, brother, right? He's a nationalist. Japan is a very nationalistic country, very proud people. That's where his roots are. He is bigger in the United States. Put it this way, and this isn't my opinion. This is analytical facts. You can check on Google. He has a far bigger fan base in Japan than any American fighter has in this country. That's just facts. And what it is this country, because this is the hub of cultural norms around the world, like we have been the center of cultural norms. So for years, you had to kind of make it here, or you couldn't make it anywhere, because this is where the television but that's changed now because of the global reach of the sport. But because of that, like in Japan, he's on like picture the biggest newspaper, the New York Times, right? Even though it's a shit rag, but he's on the cover regularly over there.
Yeah, but
He's
Jimmy,
like the biggest sports star over- Yes, brother.
Jimmy, what you're saying is completely true. But don't you think that Inoue wants to make it big in the U.S.? Even you know what I mean? Even if he's big over there. This is what
Of
I feel like
course.
some boxers
He has
wanna,
to.
they
Yeah,
always want to
that's
come.
why he came
Even
over here.
UK fighters, the same thing. They want to come to America as well because it's the like you said, it's the mecca of boxing, man. That's what it is.
A lot of people would disagree, Bucho. I agree with you, but a lot of people would disagree with that.
Well, I know Ring. He's very
Name's the biggest
anti
athlete
that
in the world.
too.
Yeah, okay, so you know what I'm talking about then.
Yeah, but when you speak of athletes, if they're not coming out of the U.S., not born in the U.S., if they're not coming to the U.S. to dominate and showcase their skills, you don't put them in the history books among the greatest.
That's
you
not
need
true,
to
man.
tell
That's
that-
not true, man.
That other dude that too,
Right.
yeah,
Name-
who Jim
All right, name a
just said.
household name
That is
that's the
stupid.
greatest athlete.
No, you said Hall of Famer or household name? Like,
Both.
No, I'm saying if you showcase your skills in the United States, that's what builds your reputation as the greatest of all time. Not staying in Japan. He can have a million fights in Japan until he comes over to the United States. A lot of people are not going to know him.
Well, it's also who he fights, and he's fought good names. He's fought good guys in the division. I mean, he took out a dude in second round who had never been off his feet in, I think, 40 fights. He was 40, 1 and 2 Oh no, 43 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws, and had never been off his feet. He destroyed the dude, and that include that 1 loss was a prime donaire, and he couldn't even stun him. Didn't even hurt him. And he wrecked him in the second round. He actually put out 2 undefeated champions in the last couple of years in the second round. Look what he just did in the world. Yeah, look what in the World Boxing Tournament. I mean, he burnt through that brother. Yes, man.
Oh yeah. So just to go on that note, well, I think Inoue, because we're talking about Inoue in America, the biggest fight for him is Fulton. Do you think that fight's gonna happen? You think Fulton will take it? And where would it be?
I would think it wouldn't be anytime soon. It would probably, if it was to happen, it would be late next year, if at all. Only because it would have to get acclimated to the weight. That's all. You know, I don't think he would jump right to 122 and take that fight. And it's, this cross promotions too, because of the PBC is very reluctant to, unless they're ordered by sanctioning bodies, to let their fighters. Al will let you come into the PBC, sign a 1 or 2 fight contract so you can get 15% of your purse, and he'll let you fight. But he's not. I mean, how many times has he given a top rank fighter an opportunity to come over and take one of his fighters' belts?
Yeah, that's the sad part. But I mean, that's what my opinion is. That would be his biggest American fight, and I would hope it'd be here. So, it would.
I would think it would be here because remember, Japan. There's still, whether he's big there, I don't think there's any place in Japan that's going to give him the site fees Vegas does. Vegas throws big money around for site fees.
Yeah, see, I don't understand these guys who are saying, "Oh no, America is not the biggest place anymore." There's no way. Eddie Hearn and I don't know, man. It's a rabbit hole, but maybe they have a point. But
America is the biggest cultural. We still culture for the most part comes here. Hollywood. Thank you, Bucho. Exactly. So for that reason, it's a kind of a thing where if you're known here, then you're world known.
But also in terms of in boxing history, I mean, it's the U.S. It's been the center of, like, for example, I remember Ricky Hatton. He wanted to fight in the U.S. Who else? Carl Froch. No, sorry, Carl Froch. He remember he wanted that U.S. fight, the American fight, and he wanted to fight. Well, he had one against Ward, but he wanted to fight in Las Vegas against Chavez Jr. And they were talking about that fight. Anyways, the point is, they want to fight in the U.S. because they know that it's kind of like a historical place for boxing. You know what I mean? Like a historical country. So that's
correct.
That's the point I was trying to make.
Can I say something about that? Can I say something about that? Yeah, it's true that some fighters want to fight just because they want to say, "Hey, I fought in the U.S."
Exactly.
That does not preclude the ability to be a superstar in their own country. There's a lot of America-centrism going on here, and some Afrocentrism too going on, where you got to be a black man to be a star in the U.S. There's that obsession with that.
No one said that.
As well.
Yeah.
I'm saying it. Hold on. Let me. Hold on. No, I'm saying it. And the other thing is with Boom Boom Guy, when he called in after the Inoue fight, he admits he doesn't watch those divisions. He's a guy that doesn't watch all that much boxing. He's, you watch the big fights, and that's it. So you're not in a good position to say who's a superstar and who isn't. To you, anyone that doesn't find the U.S. is unknowable because you don't know them. But that's your problem, not everybody else's.
No, Mexico's not too far. If you're a star in Mexico, literally, it'll bleed over into the U.S. But like I said, like he has to gain like 23 more pounds, and then I'll consider him. I already pointed out that bias. But to Jimmy's point, the reputation of fighting in the U.S. Supersedes, like it gives you that notoriety. But
why would you go? I don't understand. Why anyone would go? Why anyone would go to the U.S.? Why would you go to the U.S.? Why would you go to the U.S. when you got the referee on the American side? He's going to let the American fighter clinch, hitting the balls. The judges are going to be in the pocket. I mean, I'm just saying it works. Listen. There's corruption everywhere, but let's stop pretending that it doesn't happen in the U.S. as well.
Yeah, Bucho.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Which Americans even sell out nowadays? It's like the Americans need foreigners to come over to sell their tickets to the PPV. If you got 2 American fighters, how many American fighters can sell out nowadays in America to make money? Devin Haney? He couldn't sell out a toilet. I mean, who are you talking about?
Tank.
I agree with you because now you're getting 2 fan bases clashing together. That's simple marketing.
Look at Terence Crawford. fans. It's supposed to be one of the big fight. I want to see it as a boxing fan, but it's just not going to generate the amount of money they think it is. Or at least that's what
It's definitely more significant, but it's definitely not going to bring in revenue wise.
When Wilder was fighting Americans, it wasn't selling many tickets. As soon as Fury come, it went through the roof. Correct or not?
Well, from what I remember, Fury went to WWF to get the band.
Good personality as well as Wilder.
His numbers quadrupled.
Yeah, but he was doing ticket sales, but he was actually making profit until he fight Fury and wanted more money. In case you got, look that up for facts, bro. He was getting paid. He was actually making
no.
Yes, he was.
Both those guys received a significant.
What pay-per-view did Wilder ever do before Fury? Did he have big pay-per-views before Fury?
He had the one.
Yeah,
Ortiz fight pay-per-view?
Ortiz. Yes, Ortiz was a pay-per-view.
Yeah, but Fury never did a pay-per-view by himself at all, and you guys love to bring that bullshit up. Fury has never showed himself as a person that can sell.
He's not American. He's not American. The expectations are different. Like, he's not American. He was fighting in the UK. He wasn't going to have a pay-per-view.
The only reason why they didn't make money with Wilder after the Ortiz 2 fight is because how much they had to pay him to keep him where he was at. If he was still getting paid his regular $3 to $5 million dollar purse, they would definitely make money off him on pay-per-views, bro. Like that's just common sense. You should see that the numbers itself. It's just they overpaid him.
How much? I just want to know how much was Ortiz paid in the pay-per-view.
So who's arguing that he was a big pay-per-view star before Fury? Somebody saying that because that's what
Fury and Wilder sold those fights.
Yeah.
How many tickets did Fury White sell?
Fury White. Oh man, I think it was like. Let's see. Let me double check. I think it was around 70.
Sold out. I believe it was sold out every fight.
What was Fury White? Was it in Wimbledon?
Yeah,
Wimbledon.
So wasn't that over 90,000 seats?
Yes, 90,000.
It was 90,000.
I thought it was 110,000.
No, stop. It was 90,000.
No, it was 85,000.
It was 90. Listen, stop. It was 90,000 originally, and then they managed to sell out so fast they got additional 4,000. So it's 94 in total.
Holy shit!
There you
that
go.
Would be the biggest.
Actually, a star.
94,000.
I remember when Wilder couldn't even sell out his fucking backyard.
Yeah, but that's what is this dude saying?
Do you guys think Devin, Haney, or Spence or Bud can do that sort of numbers?
No, never. Absolutely not.
The heavyweight division is the most known division in the world. So
how do we get into this? Hold on. How do we get into this fucking mess? What are we even discussing here?
The LDBC guy, blame him.
Yeah, boom. You're fucking.
Well, let me make a point before y'all switch. Tyson Fury went through a 3-fight with Wilder. It was exciting. Of course, his reputation is going to go up, and he's going to be able to do bigger numbers. You can't just say that's all Fury. That's it.
Look at Fury White and Fury Klitschko.
No, he wants us to give credit to Wilder.
That's a really good point.
Of course, Wilder, he brought some fans, some American fans, and but I don't know what we're debating here. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, nobody's denying that Wilder didn't bring anything to the table. Like,
there is no point fighting in America unless you're going to get a big money. That's why the Muslims and the Saudis are fucking running things now, aren't they? Who wants to fight in America?
Wilder brought half his backyard. That's what he brought.
Remember Ricky Hatton? How many fans he fought? That was crazy, man.
There was more Ricky Hatton fans than Floyd Mayweather fans.
For sure, man. It was crazy. Anyways, moving on to something else. What else do we have? Hey, somebody posted this picture. Let me post it on the YouTube here. Just give me 2 seconds.
It's not Johnny Boy, is it?
No. It says it's from CB Boxing on Twitter. He posted this picture that says, "Is this list accurate? If not, who would you take out and replace with?" So what we have in the picture is top 5 current USA boxers. Number 1, Errol Spence Jr. Number 2, Terence Crawford. 3, Devin Haney. Jermall Charlo and Shakur Stevenson. Are those the top 5
Take them all out.
boxers?
Take them all out. All of them. Take them all out. All of them.
We gotta have Canelo in there at least.
American. Sorry, it says top five American.
American born.
Yeah.
Okay, American born. Okay.
Technically, Canelo is American.
Man, that motherfucker ain't on me. He born in Mexico, man.
He's Irish. No, no, logical, man. He's Irish.
Where do you think Mexico's located at?
His blood is Irish, but his nationality is Mexican. So even better.
There you go. Yeah.
Mexico located at? Do you know?
My bias, you gotta have Bam in there somewhere. I mean, come on.
Virgil Ortiz.
Not right now. Not right now.
But Virgil Ortiz is American, right?
Listen,
Yeah,
I
he is.
So
I thought
Jermel was Caribbean.
To Mexican, but they claim him now because he winning.
Bucho.
No, what do you mean? Do you know what continent Mexico's in?
Yes, South America.
Central America, right? But you know he's a heavy metalhead. Virgil Ortiz, a wicked metalhead. That's why I like Virgil Ortiz. His music, he's a wicked metalhead. I just think that's funny.
It's a white guy.
He plays guitar too.
It's a white
Well,
guy.
no wonder he fights like that.
All right. Well, I guess nobody disagrees with this list.
No, hang on. No, I don't agree with number 3.
Nah.
I did. I said put Bam.
Not the
worst list ever.
Not completely, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
I said put Bam in over Shakur. That's where I
Fuck.
was.
I don't agree. Haney
No, I put Bam over Haney, but Haney undisputed, so it's hard to say 50-50.
That's I would too, but Devin's
I
undisputed.
just want to know how come Arrow's number one? Why is Arrow number one?
Yeah, that's a popularity contest vote. Then if they got him at number one, because there's, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be.
He, belts, though. He just had more belts. You guys, you got to give him that. Like we can say
but Crawford's already undisputed.
Yeah, Crawford's beaten more champions, gotten more belts. What do you mean?
You know? See, that's why I like hearing new shit. I'm learning from this. You know, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, if you just go strictly by accolades, I mean, if you go by accolades, which is just like, people talking people up in popularity, that's how they end up looking. But if you go by strictly achievement, hardware, number of title fights, number of title defenses, number of belts, all that other stuff, and then it's a little easy to do it that way. It takes the biases out, but it does piss a lot of people off when you do it that way.
Yeah, because I mean, I could actually argue Mel could be number 2. Crawford could be number 1. Mel could be number 2, and Arrow could be number 3.
Yeah. Because
I got Haney
put in work, bro. He had a good role, bro. He had to actually take some decent fights, bro.
Well, hold on. Well, how come? Oh, this is crazy. How come Devin Haney's ahead of Jermel Charlo?
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what I'm trying to say too. Really, Bam can almost replace Devin Haney, but because he undisputed, it kind of keeps him there. But Bam has a better achievement than what Haney did. Undisputed.
Charlo's undisputed is better than Haney's, without a doubt.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Bro.
No, it's not.
Way more hard work.
Lightweight undisputed.
Remember,
you gotta look at who he beat.
But the people he fought, bro, the shit he had to go through.
Yeah, and if you look at number of title fights,
and beat Cambosa.
Listen,
Devin Usyk is a better undisputed champion.
Devin Haney got the email belt, and he beat the White Buster Douglas. And beat the White Buster Douglas.
It doesn't matter. He's better.
Hey, Devin Haney got all the belts.
American
It
fighter.
don't matter.
Well, then what about
American fighters are pussies.
honestly, if you really want to look at it, I would say achievements, number of title fights. I would have to say Usyk would be number one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, we're talking American.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's not American.
Usyk be number one.
Crawford
Yeah,
is
if it
easily
wasn't
number
this
one.
USA, this would be a different list.
Yeah, this is worldwide. Usyk is fucking number one, bro. I don't care what nobody says.
And the fact he does every fight's a road win, right? We give everybody props for going on the road and doing it. Every fight this motherfucker fights is a road win. He never fights at home.
I mean,
well, apart from the war.
All right, well, we settled that shit. Moving
Well,
on.
hey guys, you guys knew your boy Lone was back, so you know who to go back and hide? Tank Davis.
Yep. Thank you, logical
no,
man.
what?
Oh shit, it's
Get out of
true.
here, man. Tank,
Your boy
washed
Tank
his
Davis.
Tank
What are you gonna do when your boy runs? Boom, boom. What are you
The
gonna
only
do?
top guy Davis is going to have a chance of beating is Ryan Garcia, only because Ryan Garcia keeps his chin up and he fucking doesn't have a great defense, so he can get caught. That's it. But other than that, everybody else, Davis not beating him, bro. I'm calling it. I'm telling you right now. Especially Lone, but Lone gonna beat his fucking ass. He'll get exposed.
I'll take Ryan in that fight, honestly,
Hey,
against Davis.
you know what?
That's a pretty close fight. I think that's 60-40. I would favor Tank on that, though.
Ryan
He's
Cheney,
too ugly. He looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid.
He got power,
Ryan's
but
gonna win.
y'all look
Listen,
at that last fight, bro. That dude is nothing compared to Davis. Even Davis, Davis not all that, but come on, bro. What that guy named fucking Toga or Tunga for Uganda or some shit? I don't know where the fuck he is from. But all I know is that was not a good showcase, man.
Thing is, since Lomachenko's aiming for October, I mean, he's got plenty. Whoever he wants to fight, he's got plenty of time to train.
No, he needs a tune-up fight. If he goes straight into David Haney, it's going to be a wash. I'm calling
He'll knock him out in one round.
He's got to fight Cambosos first, isn't it? Cambosos.
Yeah.
Stick to dog fighting. Lomachenko will knock him out in one round.
Unless they can buy him off, unless they can buy Cambosos off because he has activated his rematch clause.
Jimmy, he lost for 8 figures. There's no point.
Is that what he asked for? 8 figures?
No. He lost for big, wasn't he?
Man, give him $1 million. Get him the fuck out the way.
He ain't
I would think for his career, he should take $1 million and fucking walk away and try to get better. Because there's nothing he's going to be able to do to beat Haney.
No, Haney will destroy him.
Exactly. And on top of that, there is no traction for that fight. No one wants to see it.
And the government, Australian government's... Yeah, and the government in Australia put up a lot of that money for the last fight.
They're not going to do it now.
No, they're not. Because they just know it's not going to put in the... People aren't going to show up in those numbers again. They're not going to buy the pay-per-views again. Because they saw it was too one-sided. There was no need to run it back.
Too one-sided, snooze fest. If you got sleeping issues, you go there.
I think should be... what I think, if you do a rematch, it has to be a close fight. Not like one-sided completely or you get knocked out early. If it's that sort of shit, your rematch clause can't
Maybe if Devin actually tries to fight, it will be...
No,
it ain't Devin's fault, fool. You can't blame the guy that's always good like that.
I blame both of them.
Let me explain what I'm saying. Okay, Devin implied the jab and grab. You can watch. He did an interview on a certain show, and he told everybody what he did. He said, "We looked at his arm, and I slipped and grabbed him." I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he did.
But then you're asking him might get knocked out, so he's not going to do that. He's going to do the safe, easy, cautious thing.
And that's what he said. He even said it out of his own mouth. He said, I got caught trying to fight, so I just chose to, be smart, which is paraphrased for, safe.
Phrasing for illegal style.
I heard that interview. He actually said when he does get caught, it's such a big reaction that, he could lose on points. So he played it safe in Australia because everyone had him losing to a robbery. So he played it safe.
Well, take it
what do you mean?
How it came out of his own mouth?
Why would he lose to a robbery?
Because he was in Australia.
Hold on. Now, Boom Boom got a point on that. That is true. Everyone was thinking fucking robbery, fool. So you can't say, how he gonna lose?
Haney, unanimous decision. What do you mean?
Well, look at Pacquiao Horn.
The only people who said that was LBBT. That's it.
Yeah, but look at Pacquiao Horn. Pacquiao easily won, and he was a hell of a lot more exciting and active, and he lost to Jeff Horn.
Jeff Horn putting that work on Pacquiao ass. I gotta admit that. I don't know the fuck y'all keep saying that. It was easy to kind of rob.
It was set up to give Crawford the belt.
Man, I
didn't Teddy Atlas quit because of that fight? Didn't he quit ESPN because of that fight? Because he got robbed?
Teddy's a cuck.
I don't know.
Well, Haney implied the jab and grab, so that's what you're gonna see again. Let me tell you. You know how many power punches? You want to hear the stats? You know how many power punches he landed? 40. You know how many Bam had? 180. So come on, man. I mean, it was boring. It was awful.
And Atlas was demoted. He didn't quit. He was demoted, and then he walked away
because he complained about the outcome of that fight, I believe. I heard a podcast.
He's not a very easy guy to get along with. He can be very abrasive, and he's very opinionated, and he just is. Even admits that he's a very hard man to get along with.
Hey, Jimmy, I'll tell you a funny story about one of Teddy Atlas's fighters. Who Sugar Ray landed for? Donnie Lalonde.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. Donnie Lalonde, yep.
Well, Donnie was telling a story, I think, just before the Sugar Ray Leonard fight. He didn't employ Teddy's services because I think Teddy said he was trying to give him less money than he should. Teddy went to his hotel room and Donnie wasn't there. Because apparently what happened is Teddy had a gun. He was going to knock on the door and shoot Donnie because he got him to fight for Sugar Ray and he was not going to get paid. That's what sort of psycho Teddy is, mate.
I wouldn't doubt it, man.
He stuck a 357 Magnum in the face of a 16-year-old Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, yeah, I know.
But wasn't he harassing some family members?
His little sister.
He was harassing Teddy's daughter, or not daughter or niece or something.
Yeah, his niece or his sister or something, because Teddy was a young man then, too. The thing is, Teddy was in working with Kevin Rooney. Basically, it was Cuss D'Amato hired those both guys. But I think Kevin Rooney had more influence back then on Mike than Atlas.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it looks like he was. He had more influence, for sure. All right, so... What the fuck are we talking about, man? We're talking about... Oh, yeah, we were talking about Haney and...
And Loma coming back in October.
Right.
Yep. I think October 19, I believe.
In
they already set a date?
Oli G says, thank you for your contribution, Oli. He says, Teddy Atlas is a fake tough guy. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't know more. Jimmy, is he a fake tough guy or is he fucking nuts?
Yes, he is.
Well, no, he can fight. He was an amateur boxer. I think he actually won in upstate New York. He was a regional champion. Tough dude. I mean, he got that scar on his face. Wasn't from eating pussy. You know,
he has some good takes. I mean, he's knowledgeable.
Eating pineapple.
Is it?
Bro, I fucking love that Scarface thing.
Yeah.
He grew up boxing. He come from a family what wasn't like poor either. I think you come from a family where a lot of people went to, school or whatnot. He just chose to go boxing route.
All right, moving on to I have a tweet over here that you guys can see on your screen. Eddie Hearn says Tommy Fury turning down Jake Paul's $500,000 offer for a UK fight. The problem Tommy has is the only fight. I'm reading it all correctly. The problem Tommy has is the only fight for him that can generate that kind of money is Jake. So Tommy really needs Jake. Listen, Jake needs Tommy as well. He basically says that they both need each other, but I'm like, I disagree with this. I think fucking Jake Paul can do whatever the fuck he wants, man. Tommy can do shit. He's
Tommy's the face of UK boxing, Bucho.
Oh my god! But dude, I'm just letting you fucking assholes know, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Tommy ducked Jake, bro. I don't know why the fuck he's scared of that dude. It don't make sense. I think because he think if I lose, the Fury's gonna disown his ass. So he I'm not fighting this guy. I'm gonna get my ass whooped and get it disowned.
It's a lose-lose situation. You beat him, you're supposed to beat him. You lose, your career's over.
Nah, hell no. If he'd have won that fight, he'd have got a lot of credit. People like, yeah, he shouldn't talk that shit. He fought a real boxer, and Tommy would have some kind of publicity because of that, bro. I'm telling you, they had like a little buzz.
Listen, whoever Jake fights will make money. So it's not the same case for Fury. So Fury needs to shut the fuck up and fight Jake if he wants the big Benjamins.
What was his last payday? I believe it was under 100,000.
Are anyone gonna buy it though?
Well, pounds, 125 pounds or some shit.
No, but we're talking about it like we're gonna buy it. Is anybody here gonna buy it?
Fuck no.
No.
I mean that shit illegally.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it on free streams.
Gonna buy it though.
So I mean,
Tommy brings in the girls.
This ramen, dude. Anyway, this ramen. Did you guys see the video? It looked fake to me. They had a little blow up.
No, I didn't.
Who's that?
Ramen and Jake Paul. Yeah, I guess they were sparring and they got a little heated. It looks fake to me, like to sell the fight, but it could be real.
They sparred.
I think that's a better fight.
Yeah, they used to spar. Yeah, they hired him for the Woodley fight, I believe, for sparring.
He's gonna lose.
Dude, Rolly Romero was tattooing that boy's ass. Rolly Romero looked like Gervonta in there.
Nah, but like Rolly, when it comes to sparring, his ass is a monster for some reason, man. When it comes Rolly and sparring,
Rolly got
watch the Rodman, watch him and Rodman, the dude Paul's fighting. Man,
Rolly got that retard strength.
Yeah,
he got a chin.
Rolly was sparring Rockman.
Yeah, there's videos.
Wow, he's a fucking heavyweight.
He was tearing his ass up too. It wasn't even funny.
He probably just let him do it though, man. You know what I'm saying? Make him feel good. Cause he a fucking heavyweight, man. I think he could have fucking hurt him.
Yeah, but when you're sparring, I mean, you don't go 100, and Rolly was really trying to take his head off.
Yeah, Rolly always do that crazy ass. He got that from that Mayweather dog house shit. Hey, who's that guy? Max? What's his name? Max Apocalypse or some shit? How about you get your lame ass on the stream and have a conversation, man? Your ass always in the comments talking shit. Never come on.
Oh, I see. Max Palacio says illogical woman needs closed captioning when speaking. All right.
This dude is fucking lame. He got Mayweather this picture so he make himself feel better because he's a fucking hater. That's why, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, do
Jump
something
on
with
the
yourself.
stream, man. Jump on. All right, we have a few people in here that are not really talking that much.
Stop ducking.
You might be taking space here. We have Amok just arrived. Cardo 52. Have you been talking?
Nope.
Kick him out.
No. Can you kick the dog fighter out of here?
I'm just here for the show. All right, Cardo, and then we have Gabagoo.
The dog fighter. Can you kick him out?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
All right, guys,
let me just say my official picks, and then you can just throw somebody on.
All right.
Well, I got Mr. Miyagi beating Ray Vargas.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Figueroa. Beltran is also fighting, so I picked him, and I also picked Pulev. Those are my picks for this weekend.
Okay, I'm in the minority, but
wait, you're missing,
I guess I'm in the minority.
Virgil Ortiz.
I'm sorry.
Isn't he fighting?
Hey, Derek Chisora's fighting, well, isn't he?
Wait, when is the Virgil Ortiz fight? I'm confused now.
Yeah, I forgot. When does that fight?
When is the Virgil Ortiz?
That's in a month. When's he fighting?
I don't even think he knows.
Wait, hold on. You guys forgot about one fight. Just pick up who gonna win. Fortuna versus Ryan. Come on now.
Ryan, man. What is this fight done?
Dominican
I'm talking about this weekend.
Fortuna's actually going to win.
Can't fight, honestly.
All right, well.
You think Fortuna's really going to win?
No. Dominicans can't fight.
Fortuna can't fight. What?
Probably gonna get KO'd.
Yes, he's already been knocked out. Like twice already.
He probably doesn't go past the 9th.
Doesn't go past the 4th, I think.
Yo, I'm all fucked up, man. I thought Virgil was fighting this Saturday, man. He's fighting August 6th or some shit. The fuck?
Damn, we got pushed to August 6th.
Fighting again?
But Chisora Pulev is fighting tomorrow.
Yeah, Chisora. What's up with Chisora? Like, is he that popular over there? Like, he keeps getting all these main events. What's going on?
Listen, man, we like a good tear up. We like a good tear up.
They love Chisora, man. They fucking love that dude. In UK, they
He's exciting.
He's exciting to watch.
Listen, if he fought like Devin Haney, they would have to the curb ages ago. Put it that way.
Oh yeah,
he's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
But you know
how can stick around boxing as you can stick around boxing as long as you're exciting. Like Gabe Rosado, I mean, he's gonna be around another 10 years. Like as long as you're exciting, you're gonna stick around. Munguia gonna be around for 10 years.
Another thing about Chisora too, he's real nationalistic, bro. Like he came heavy as fuck with that, you know, that British. He was heavy on that, man. So they really behind him. You know, he real nationalistic.
I mean, I think he came to England when he was 14 from Zimbabwe, and then obviously he got his British citizenship after that.
Yeah, man, I'm proud of him, man, because you know he repped that shit heavy. Like he loved, you know, UK, man. I respect that.
UK really supports their fighters, though. That's another thing, especially if they're exciting.
Do you guys get many people, foreigners, who come to America, become American citizens, and fight like in American boxing? Do you guys get many? Not really.
No, except they're Mexican.
Yeah, that's kind of rare.
They're Mexican, yeah.
And I mean, there's been some Cubans that have, you know, defected and whatnot, but I don't know if that counts.
They don't count. They're boring.
Hey man, Castro put it on them. So
well, there you go. Call me bastards.
All right, so we got Amok's prediction, and Cardo, you want to say anything?
How come how come I'm in the minority with my Galso?
Hold on.
Yeah, I picked him. I picked him. That's what I meant by Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah,
but the most I've seen was people are picking Ray Vargas. I don't understand why. Maybe I'm seeing things wrong.
I got him a draw.
He's tall he's a tall featherweight, even though he's moving up.
He has more experience.
Yeah,
He's taller.
he has Nacho
And he's
Beristain in
slick,
his
too.
corner.
Yeah,
But
A lot of
it's a
people
close
don't
fight,
like
man.
Magsayo, I guess. They said he's green. He's got a lot of holes.
Didn't he beat Russell Jr.?
Yeah.
They
Yes.
said Gary
Yeah,
Russell
that's
had a dead arm or something. I guess that was the
No, that's
excuse. It was
WBC.
a big.
Fuck them.
Boy, that's bullshit, man.
That's LBBC. Yeah, those guys are
A
idiots,
lot
and
of
they're all welfare.
people are like
Just
Gary
gotta
had
ask
one
Will.
arm.
Plain and simple, bro. He just lost.
Don't
plain
listen
and
to them.
Well,
They're on
he did
welfare.
complain. He did complain, and again, I'm not wanting to, on here wanting to sound like I'm a big, Gary Russell defender. Or some of the things he said is silly, but he did complain about that injury going into the fight. So it was out there. He had a shoulder injury, and if you actually see in the second round, he throws a punch, and then when he steps back, he rolls his shoulder. So you could tell he kind of tinged something, but he was still kind of thrown with it. I think what happened, he was kind of surprised because that kid kept coming, and he just didn't have the power with the injury to stop him. So he just, he lost the fight.
But
That's true.
in my opinion,
Please don't show that video.
Who just played that, bro? What the hell? What the hell, bro? What was that,
Like-
man?
Deontay Wilder kissing his statue. Stop that, Bucho, man.
Goddamn, still kissing the shit. What the hell? You edit that or that?
He's too
I'm
sexy for
trying to play it
himself.
again. I can't play it.
Please, man. That's fucking. I ain't see that.
Yo, so
Hey, Jimmy.
is that the same Russell Jr. that called out Tank, right? The one that lost?
Jimmy.
Yes.
Jimmy, the reason they didn't give him that fight is because he only fights once a year. They didn't like an inactive champion. So even though he beat him with one arm, they still gave it to the other guy because he's so inactive. One time a year, you can't be a champion like that. That's all.
He was the longest reigning champion in boxing at 6.5 years too at the time.
Yeah, but he only fought once a year, so I don't like that either, to be honest. But
Who cares? Who lost?
I did hear logic that some of these guys say if you fight one time a year, it builds up to people wanting to see you. Where if you fight 2 times a year, less people are going to see you. So you basically you'll make the same amount of money in that one fight as fighting 2 fights a year.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I hear.
Why is
Definitely
Wilder got a
not the case.
handbag on?
Put the KFC down.
Bro,
Yeah, they
bro, who said that shit? That is so stupid, bro.
how you gain
I'm just saying.
Whatever his name is.
how you gain fans is by creating the legacies. You go out there and look at Bam. I mean, other than the guys who don't like to watch smaller guys, there's not gonna. I won't. Somebody I love better not die and have a funeral when he's fighting because I'm gonna be late.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be watching that motherfucker fight. You know what I mean? So, and you do that by fighting the guys. Whereas Davis, I used to be very excited when he fought, just because of his violence and his quick hands. Now I couldn't give a shit. I haven't watched one of his fights, and I don't think I've watched him fight since Gamboa.
Yeah, but last time I remember, didn't Russell Jr. called out Tank years ago?
No, I
They
think
called
that
out
was
Leo Santa Cruz. He was calling out Leo Santa Cruz.
Haney, bro.
This is too big for Russell. I mean, he's too big for Santa Cruz too. But
What's weird about Russell? That motherfucker lives in the boxing gym. Like, it's real big in his family, obviously, right?
Oh,
I mean, it's, the whole family did it, even though his dad, rest in peace, who just passed. And that's another thing, too. And I know a lot of people will say, fuck that. It is what it is. I don't know how the fuck the dude fought. I mean, I know he just lost his dad, right? Wasn't within 3 weeks, I think, before the fight.
Right after the fight.
Yeah, or right before the fight. That would affect me. I just know that. That's all I'm saying.
Some people are insensitive, just like UFC. What was the guy named? What his dad died for? Khabib. Yeah, people don't understand because they don't have fathers that love them. So it's easy for them to be like, I get over it. Just like if you had somebody that actually gave a fuck about you, wouldn't just say that. It actually affects you. Especially when they in your corner every day to your fights. That shit will get to you, bro.
Yeah, he worked with him every day. He was showing up at the gym where his dad hung out. I mean, they're very tight.
Everything, seeing them, bro, that shit gonna affect you.
And then there's guys. Then that can work 2 ways.
With Khabib, after his dad died, he went in the fight and destroyed the dude. So yeah, it affects everybody differently. But
because Brett Favre, right? His dad died on a Saturday night. He played the next Sunday afternoon and put up the best numbers of his career. But he was gonna not fight, and his father, his best friends, and his uncle called him and said, "What would your father say?" And he didn't have to say another word because he said my father would have been, what are you kidding me? You have an obligation. You got to you for this team. So he went out there with his father in mind, and because of his father, but he also admitted in an interview that he could actually feel the stress off him because his father was the type of dude who would throw for 400 yards, right? Have his career game, but throw 2 interceptions. And on the way home, the only thing his father would talk about was the 2 interceptions. So that was the kind of dad he had, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
which reminds me of my father.
Hey, that same for Buster Douglas when his mom passed or where the hell he became champion.
Yeah,
it's just something you want to win. You want to win for the people that you lost. That's just how they come out stronger.
Yeah,
but it all. But after the effect, that's when the
that was always that was the big storyline for Oscar. You remember Oscar?
His mom died.
His mother died right before one of his fights, and he was real close with her. That's like his main inspiration.
And Oscar's father treated him like 50 pounds of smashed ass. He was not nice to Oscar. Never was.
Yeah, you've seen that.
I think
Oscar said if my father ever told me he was proud of me, I would have had a heart attack. He won a gold medal, and he's never understood that, right? I mean, I understand tough love, but how the fuck do your son win a gold medal and you don't tell him you're proud of him?
Yeah,
that's pretty fucking crazy, right?
Well, actually, the only time Oscar's father told him that he was proud of him was after the Trinidad fight.
Yeah.
But who remember when Papa Trinidad would slap Tito in the corner, like slap him?
Yeah.
I don't think he should have stopped the fight in the 12th round. No, I'm kidding.
There was a kid I used to spar. He went around here. I don't want to say his name because you know what I mean. But it's because his dad passed. But I'll say his first name, Richie. But his father was brutal to him, dude. Got to the point they kicked him out of the gym. His father used to beat him, like punch him in the fucking face while he was sparring, screaming at him, just fucking punch him right in his face. Finally, Archie kicked him out of the gym.
Jimmy, what do you think about this son trainer thing that we've seen? Like I remember Shane Mosley, Sean Porter, Teofimo Lopez.
Who's the best combination of father and son?
It works to a extent.
Is it a good idea? First of all, is it a good idea?
It can be, but personally, like we see a lot of fathers bring their kid along till they get out of the images. But you want the problem is right. You're never going to treat your son. You know, a lot of people say, "Well, you're just not going to treat him the same if he's your blood. You're not gonna let him take a beating run. Like I don't think Porter, any other trainer would have stopped the fight as quick as he did with Crawford.
I think I know who the best combination is. It's gonna be Naoya Inoue and his father, right?
But his father does have there's another person in the corner that is there for technical.
But that's his main trainer, and
yeah, exactly.
Also brothers too. He has like two brothers that are also fathers.
Yes. Well, that's part of the Japanese culture too. It's very patriotic too.
Yeah, but like you were saying, like when like some dads might throw in the towel or not throw in the towel. You know, the first fight with Donaire was like the best example of a father and son duo in boxing. I think.
Okay, I have an example. Did anybody see the Gabe Rosales fight? Remember that guy and his dad let him get beat up? That was awful, man. I don't think it works. Like my reasoning.
Hey, you know
my reasoning is burnout.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I think Danny Garcia, for example, he should have like fired his father a long time ago. Obviously, now it's too late.
You can't really blame the dad because Danny Garcia did a lot of shit. Like his dad was telling them good instructions, bro. Like if y'all fucking listen, he was telling them good shit. Daddy don't fucking listen. Like he do his own fucking thing.
But I mean, to change his style a little bit or something.
Didn't Roy Jones Jr. have his dad train him as well? A manager
for a little bit.
They had a big falling out too.
Yeah, there you go.
Terrible person, man.
And I'm gonna say why Floyd didn't speak to his father for years.
But I'm gonna say why it doesn't work is because of burnout. Because you can, boxing is your life, but it can't be your entire life. Like think about it. If that's your dad, you want to have barbecue, you're never gonna get away from it. You're gonna burn out.
But like I said, man, I agree with that. I think that the Inoue family has done the best job with it that I've ever seen. That father has his sons going out there and just beating the shit out of people.
I'd say Papachenko has done pretty damn good too. I mean, another thing to his credit though. But I mean, it wasn't like he was just a father who, like, took up because my son boxed. Like, he was the strength and conditioning coach for Ukraine for the Olympic teams and shit. So he's always been around that aspect of it. But yeah. Plus, look what he's done for Usyk. Usyk credits Papachenko for his what's going on him.
Oh, I thought you were saying Papa Shango. Oh, Chenko.
Papachenko. I just said Shanko. It's Loma. Sometimes the name is so long, I get tired of fucking saying the whole thing.
You know, underrated.
Jimmy,
an underrated father-son is the Garcias.
Oh yeah. Well,
Mikey
yeah.
Garcia,
Well, see.
No, Danny Garcia, right? Yeah.
Well, Mickey Garcia
did Robert.
Yeah.
Well, Mikey Garcia and his
Joe
brother was a good
Calzaghe's dad
combo.
was pretty good, isn't it? Joe Calzaghe's dad.
Yeah, there you go. I knew I was forgetting one. That's a good one right there. You're from the UK. I knew you'd remember that one.
Well, the Garcias, their father was the backbone of that whole fighting family. I mean, working fucking 80 hours a week and still going there covered in dirt and still training not just his kids, his neighborhood kids too.
Yeah,
for the love of the sport,
Hey
but
guys,
if Papa Garcia was in 2022, he'd want to be on all the interviews, all the videos. You know, he just seemed like a real cool, calm dude in the background. He wanted his sons to shine. I think that's another discrepancy.
Hey guys.
Okay, how are you guys ranking this?
We can't really fucking rank this. Well, hold on. Let me just read a comment quickly here from Puro Sur Central. He says, I think fathers are more than capable, but I read somewhere that the last 3 fighters that died in the ring, the common denominator has been father in the corner. That's fucked up, man.
Which fighters are these in?
I haven't, I don't know, man. Well, who has died lately? Whoever died, some of these guys, they had their father in the corner.
There's been a couple of female boxers died, unless you talk about them.
Too many variables.
And some guys don't listen to their father either, because sometimes it's your father. It's like, yeah, I love him, I respect him, he's my dad, but sometimes give him the same respect you give somebody else. Like, for instance, if Mickey would have listened to his father, took his father, because he was adamant that week of the fight, he was like, he wouldn't even do interviews about it after a while when it came to Spence. He said from the beginning, my son has no business in this fight, taking this fight. He was dead set against it from the get-go, but he knew what it was. It was a cash grab. He knew his son had no chance of winning that fight.
His dad's smart.
Robert and Mikey.
Just look at his face going into the ring, man, right? You got fucking Robert, kind of a serious look. You got Mickey with that goofy smile, throwing punches at the ceiling, and you got his father with the dread. The fucking look of dread.
Wait, I thought Mikey and Robert are brothers.
Yeah, they are.
Yes. Yep. And there's another brother, too.
Yeah, but his
dad,
dad,
his father got him all into it.
Wait, the father is the ring, right? Yeah.
Father is the patriarch of the whole thing. He's the one
without a doubt. Yeah. Started the whole thing. Yeah, I read a story about him, man. It was pretty incredible, man.
To the top 5 USA boxers. I was just wondering if you guys would add Stephen Fulton Jr. onto that list.
No.
Nah, no.
I'd rather have I would rather have Teofimo over Fulton.
Yeah, Teofimo, I mean, what's up with his dad too? He's got rid of him, right?
He needs to fire his dad. He lost that fight because of his dad's stupid fucking game plan. He got him tired in 2 rounds.
Yeah. That is just not good for boxing, I don't think, man.
Yeah. I mean, was that Chris Eubank Jr.? He had to get rid of his dad because his dad wasn't doing nothing for him either.
Oh, Mosley and Jack Mosley. We forgot about that one. I don't think I've seen
a father hype his son up as much as Teofimo's. Like,
Shane got rid of. Does anybody remember when Shane got rid of his dad though? Because the wife,
Mosley.
Yeah, Jack was always at the fights. He's a really knowledgeable dude.
Well, didn't Floyd do the same thing? He fired his father when he was still over HBO fighting with Top Rank. He gassed his dad, and he stuck with his uncle Roger.
Yeah, he said his dad was living with them, and he kicked him out of his own house.
Didn't his dad go to prison? And one thing is something else.
Yeah.
Well, that part too. Yeah.
Well, they both did. Both Roger and Dad did. They just had a problem with drugs, like so many fighters. You know what I mean? Tried to get to the game.
Nonito Donaire was trained by his dad, right?
I don't remember. I know his wife managed the career. was his manager there at the end.
Hey, what's up with
I
these
don't
wives,
think that,
man? What's up with these wives managing careers? Is that a good idea? Also, I mean,
That's
The
that's
only,
even worse than your dad.
the only woman manager I seen is good was
I would.
what's his name? James Toley. That's the only female manager I seen that was decent. Otherwise, I can't think of it.
Jackie something. They made that movie.
Yeah.
You know, like Joel Diaz, like his sister, who Shakur used to date, she fought for the national female team. So if your wife or girlfriend is a boxer, grew up in the sport, and really knew it, I don't see a problem with that. But I know my wife definitely would
That's
do
right.
well at it.
Bradley's wife. Yeah.
She'd be fucking throwing a towel in and shit.
Yeah, Mosley's
Zardo
wife did manage
Will
his
that
career.
video stop please being shown for fuck's sake?
Mosley did good with Mosley's wife did good with his management. I can't lie.
Hey, good evening,
Yo,
everyone.
She got rid of his dad, though. He got rid of his
Wasn't
dad.
Bill Ramirez's wife fucking ruined his
Salute,
career?
Furioso. Hey, good evening, everyone.
What's
Hey,
up?
just that list you had on earlier on. Just quickly comment on that list you had earlier on about the pound for pound American boxers.
Oh,
they're missing the number one. They're missing the number one dude there with the most significant American win of the last 30 years.
Oh God.
Who? No, it's not God. He's dead.
Who?
Well, try and think. You got a lot of talent on the panel. You should know this.
No, we not doing no guessing game. Come in here and just tell us,
Big
man.
American win, significant win in the last 30 years.
You talking about goddamn Ruiz?
Oh yeah, him. Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
Wasn't he born in Mexico?
Why is he not on
He's
there? Why is he
American.
He
He's from LA. Okay. I thought he was born in Mexico. Even if he's born in Mexico, he's technically American.
Is he not Mexican? What is he? Is he Mexican or is he American?
No,
now?
he's American. He fought. He crossed the border to fight with Mexico in the Olympics, something like that.
Yeah, he fought in the
his
Olympics,
Spanish is not
yeah.
the best, so I would say he's American.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He was born in Los Angeles.
Gringo,
I think
man.
he should be, to be honest, I think he should be number one. I mean, to topple AJ like he did.
Well, come on, man.
One of the biggest. Let me just say, one of the biggest wins in the history of boxing. One of the.
Hey, I will say that he did represent America in the second fight, coming in really overweight. You know, representing all the fat guys.
McDonald's.
He got paid well for that.
Yeah, he's American.
Definitely repping USA in that one.
He got paid for that. He got paid for coming in fat.
He should have came in with a Snicker bar eating this shit.
You're right, Furious. He's American.
He should be number one. He's got a bigger win, better resume than most of the dudes.
He's actually exciting. Yeah.
He's the Buster Douglas of our generation.
He got robbed against Joe Parker.
True,
in New
true,
Zealand.
true.
Yeah. So he's only lost to a back foot bitch AJ who ran away from him.
Goodness. Yeah, exactly. If you fought Ariola, he looked like shit.
He's the best American boxer. He's the best American boxer.
We'll see. We'll see after he fights.
The best American boxer.
Louis Ortiz, he's 8 years old. Louis Ortiz is Joe Louis' sparring partner.
American boxing in the last 30 years. Can you?
This guy brings a circus.
Who has had the best win in the last 30 years in America?
Nobody, Furioso, nobody.
Answer the question. Who's got the biggest win in the last 30 years in America?
Yo,
nobody,
good question.
Nobody.
I want an honest answer. I want an honest boom boom. Let's start with boom boom. Boom boom. Answer the question.
Please answer that question.
No, I want to hear boom boom. Answer the question.
I mean, when you say the last 30 years, you gotta think like I don't know, but
I'll give you a chance. I'll tell you 10 years then. 10 years.
10 years. 10 years. 10 years. 10 years.
You might be 20 years of age, so.
If it was 30 years, I would have said Holyfield over Tyson.
Yeah, I was gonna say that exact same
that
thing.
That wasn't 30 years. That was just under 30. That was just above 30 years. But I'll just keep it 20 years then.
Wait a minute. No, it was 19.
I'm not getting any answers.
Yeah, it was 30 years. No, it was in the 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that was 1996.
Six.
Oh, 97. Yeah, it was 97.
Fuck.
I was gonna say that exact same fight.
It was 20,
Either
25
that or
years
the Mike
ago.
Douglas Tyson thing.
Oh, let's say this.
Yeah, we're talking heavyweights or just overall.
Let's say
Like,
No,
I thought the only criteria was American.
all right,
I'm saying
anything.
the most. Hold on a minute. The question is, what is the most significant, important, whatever you want to call it, win in American boxing?
Mayweather versus Pacquiao.
No, come on.
Oh yeah.
They were past their prime. They were past their prime.
Hold on. You didn't ask what the best fight in American history in the last 10 years
Mayweather was an American. It was in fact.
Biggest win, undisputed.
That's a good question, man. Holy
unified heavyweight champion that toppled the potential billionaire boxer that they were trying to make in
What about Devin Haney getting undisputed lightweight?
No,
That was a disgrace.
That's just an embarrassment.
But guess what? That's one.
You got to, hey, hold on a minute. You have to look at the opponent he's facing. This is Cambosos you're talking, yeah? Well, I'm talking beating AJ, unbeaten, the future billionaire boxer.
Cambosos was unbeaten, wasn't he?
Cambosos got robbed.
Hey, in the chat, Timothy says Hopkins when he beat Trinidad.
See, I can't get any answers, so that means
Hopkins, Bernard Hopkins beating Tito Trinidad, man. Bernard Hopkins beating Trinidad. Trinidad was supposed to fight Roy Jones, man. Like, he stopped that shit, man. Hopkins beating Trinidad. No?
Yeah, that was a pretty fucking big fight. I agree with that.
But wasn't
What about De La Hoya over Chavez?
Tyson Lewis.
Tyson Lewis. I mean, there you go. Then it's pretty far fetched, isn't it? So
True.
at the end of the day, Ruiz is #1 American boxer. It's as simple as that. He's only been potentially beat once because he got robbed in New Zealand in Parker's backyard. And he's had the biggest win of the last 20 years. It's a huge, significant win. And he was a unified champion, heavyweight. No, footing 147 or whatever. Heavyweight champion. Sorry.
But it didn't age well because look what he's done since then. Look how he's looked since then.
He's gonna come back though, Jimmy.
Comeback, isn't he? He's on the
I think his career.
He'll be back.
But the thing is, though, these guys that are on their Crawford, for instance, and others, they haven't aged well because their activity's awful. Their opponents are not really up to it. They're sea level to be.
Activity hasn't been great either.
I mean,
that's level shit up. That really does level shit up. Because the guys you've got on that fucking list, their opponents are not really up there, are they?
A bunch of bums.
I think the only good one was Spence Porter.
Ruiz beat the best thing since fucking scones, cream, and a cup of tea, which was AJ.
Hey, hold on. I was thinking, what's the biggest Mexican win in the last 10 years? It would be Pacquiao getting knocked out. So that's
Pacquiao versus Marquez. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly 10 years ago. So
what about Canelo beating B-Rabbit?
When it comes to the United States, what the fuck?
Rocky did make a movie about that, though. He's right.
Man,
Rocky did make Andy Ruiz movie. No, Sylvester Stallone made a movie about Andy Ruiz.
I mean, I'm speaking here on the outside. I don't live in America or anything, so I'm looking from
You're talking nonsense, man.
Yeah, I'm looking for.
Nobody can answer the question.
For also got a point. Let me say this: Ruiz did do that for the last 30 years, but he is Buster Douglas 2.0 of our generation.
What the fuck?
Nah, I disagree. I disagree.
Are we saying the biggest fluke of the last 30 years?
Yeah, I disagree. If you guys rewatch the Joseph Parker versus Ruiz Jr. fight, that shit was a robbery.
It was a fluke.
That was no fluke.
All right. But wait. But who's seen Ruiz? Saw Ruiz's last fight, though. I mean, that wasn't really good. Areola was kind of putting it on him in part.
He lost too much weight. That's why. He's becoming fatter again.
He needs to be happy.
Decision. Are we going to ignore that?
God damn, talk one at a time.
No one cares, though.
Look, Ruiz is the first Mexican heavyweight. I give him that. I take nothing from him. But it was the biggest upset in the last 20 years. I would say, well, the last 10 years.
It wasn't the biggest upset. Stop being fucking negative. Stop being negative. It wasn't an upset. It was the biggest win. Don't give me no upset shit.
No, it was the biggest upset. It wasn't
Parker versus Ruiz Jr. fight, you understand why.
Furioso.
Stick to beating dogs.
Hold on, I wanna Furioso. Why isn't it an upset? Because the odd makers, they had this as it was supposed to be an easy win for AJ. So and then so it's an upset, no?
But these guys,
he was never.
Hey, that first.
Hold on, let him answer, guys. Fuck, I ask a question. Let him answer. Fuck. Go ahead.
I just think these guys like saying upset to take the shine off it. You know,
it's a fact. It's a fact. Doesn't matter whether you get upset.
It was a cherry pick. It was another cherry pick gone wrong. That's what it was.
Which means it's an upset.
Man, I think Ruiz is more of a watermelon than a cherry.
Get some credit, bro. That still gives him credit, but still, though, it was an upset. It's a big.
It doesn't give him credit.
Yeah, I'll tell you why it wasn't. I'll tell you why it wasn't an upset, because in the second fucking fight, AJ ran for it.
That's true.
But no, you gotta think about it.
Ruiz got robbed.
Gonna be there. You're gonna
That's
use
perfect.
it.
Perfect. I mean, Bucho, can I add to that? Bucho, can I add to that?
We found that like 7-5.
All right, let Amok say something. Amok.
Debater, Amok.
Go ahead, Amok.
Rewatch that Parker and Ruiz Jr. fight. This is why I don't think it's a big upset. I scored that 7-5 to Ruiz Jr. and Parker got that gift decision.
I watched that fight at the time,
bro.
Gift decision, man. Let's not ignore that.
That's right. He's got a much better resume. He's got a better resume than all these dudes on that list. These dudes have only got the best. The best win of those dudes on there is fucking Castaño, fucking Cambosas, fucking a damaged goods Brook, and a sea-level Porter. Come on.
Bro,
I think Ruiz beating AJ derailed the Wilder AJ fight.
Porter was sea level, bro. You just discredit the whole self. You got discredit, bro. That was stupid shit right there. Come on.
Yeah, those are the people that they have available to them. I mean, obviously Crawford and Spence haven't fought each other yet, but that's like saying Ruiz hasn't fought Tyson Fury yet.
Exactly. What the fuck, bro?
Exactly.
So you can't even say that shit.
But Tyson Fury's not afraid though, so that's the difference.
I mean, but Ruiz, you know, he's got to get that hunger back.
He's not afraid, and he's not in this island.
Yeah, Ruiz, he showed you gotta get that hunger back. His ass lose too much weight, he need to get that hunger back.
Exactly. He needs to get fatter.
That's exactly what I meant.
He needs to get fatter and fatter.
I mean, that's just the most racist list I've ever seen. It really is.
It is. It's
disgusting. Don't talk about no racism for real. So your ass is
the most racist.
So what white guy are you gonna throw in there? What great white hope are you gonna throw in there?
Joe Smith, Caleb Plant. Wait, no, Caleb Plant. Never mind.
Babbage for Savage.
Who?
What?
Joe Smith. He's better than all of them.
I'm only pulling your leg. I mean, it's a racist list, isn't it? At the end of the day,
it is. You think it's too black? Is that what you're saying?
Bending the knee as usual. Bending the knee as usual. The Americans.
Are you saying this list is too black?
Yeah, I can't fucking see anything.
He's only saying that because his favorite fighter is white.
Exactly. He's upset.
It's USA, and you're complaining that it's too black.
That list is too black. I need a torch.
That is
too much welfare.
All of those black fighters on that list are some of the best that our country has to offer, though.
No, they're not. They're overrated.
No, it's not. Where's Virgil? Where's Ryan Garcia? Where's the real?
They're all up and comers. They're not even proven yet.
Well, they're better. It doesn't matter. They're better than them.
The USA basketball Olympic team is too black too. But hey, it's still
no one watches that shit.
How you hating like that?
Our bowling teams are pretty white too. What's up with that?
People don't look like you. You're doing better. You got better fucking athletics and genetics. How the fuck you get mad at that, bro? Who gives a fuck?
You can't fucking swim for shit. You can't swim for shit. You got no athletics.
I see him to be a top guy.
You can't even fucking
swim. Hey man,
swim.
football.
Yeah, hold on. You're saying that the people on that list haven't fought anybody, but then you're saying that Ryan Garcia and Virgil Ortiz have?
The dude's a fucking moron, bro.
Yo, I would put Fulton over Haney.
He puts race over
Hey, there we
skills.
go.
Fulton lost to Brandon Figueroa. What are you on about?
Exactly.
Is Benavidez American? Is Benavidez American?
He's
Ecuadorian.
undefeated,
Yeah.
Yes. Benavidez was born in the States.
Now he's
No,
black.
Benavidez is Ecuadorian.
I believe he was born in.
No.
I thought he was born in Arizona.
Let me check.
I think he was born in Arizona.
Benavidez was born in Arizona.
Yeah,
Benavidez
moved to Seattle.
he was born in the States.
Yeah.
No, he's Ecuadorian.
Born
Now,
in Phoenix,
Benavidez doesn't make the
Arizona.
list.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Then why did he have the Ecuadorian flag with him?
Yeah, but he was born in the States.
Paying homage to his culture.
Okay, hey, who would you replace? Who would you replace with Benavidez?
Yeah, let me hear this fool.
Haney.
The only person you can say no, you can't take out Haney. How
You
can
can't.
you take out?
Yeah, you can.
You can't take out Haney.
You can't.
It has to be Shakur Stevenson. You can't even replace somebody.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Back foot bitch, no.
Haney need to come off, both of them.
Exactly. God, man. Back foot bitches.
Weak ass fucking top rank fucking pushed Kenny Bayless fucking supported fighters. Get him off there.
Welfare.
Furiosa, man, I love him, man.
They fake.
Hey,
Their fighters are
hey,
fake.
Paper champion.
They got
the same time.
They got
But the same manufactured bums. That's what they are.
You can't argue with Furioso, bro, because he goes all fucking racist shit. He got problems, mental issues and shit.
It's not
racist.
When you're losing, you can bring the fucking race card out. That's your fucking problem.
Bring the race card.
Yo, you fucking, like, see what I'm saying with that bullshit, man.
You know what I mean?
Y'all doing all this
When
bullshit because
race,
you mad
when-
when black people
when
don't
it's
top.
race,
Hate me then.
It is what it is.
You guys don't even
have
Rodriguez
on that list.
He's doing more than most of those fighters.
Can I just gotta say, now think about this. Haney would obviously try to fight Lomachenko the same way, out at length, try not to like get into combos and in the kitchen with them, right? You know, in the zone. Yeah. But the thing is, though, right? Lomachenko would know how to get past it, right?
Exactly.
So Cambosa, you have to give, but you have to give you got to lay a lot of that blame in Cambosa's for not doing it.
No,
Right?
he wasn't.
Correct.
He wasn't
Not
skilled
just-
enough.
I completely disagree with you, Jimmy. You want me to explain to you why?
Sure thing, bro.
Because his style is 100%, well, you could say 90% illegal.
But don't you think he'll do the same thing against Lomachenko?
Yeah.
No,
completely. That's
Lomachenko
why
knocked him
I'll
out in
pick
one
Haney
round.
over Loma.
Yeah, but what do you think? Do you think Loma would
He's going to do the same exact thing to Loma. And
But
that's
do you
why
think Loma he'll get away with it?
And he can't
Not
punch.
more able to do it if
Jimmy,
you're the
let me
referee.
respond. Jimmy,
Listen,
let me
He had
respond.
his fight. Listen, man.
Okay,
he
so
had his
Jimmy,
5 minutes.
No, you be dogs. No, shut up.
what the fuck are you
Listen,
talking
I
about?
didn't say nothing.
Hold up, man.
He had his 5 minutes of fame by having a good game plan against Lopez by mental warfare. Apart from that, he's got to do nothing else now. That's it. It's finished.
Hey, Haney ended his career, so let me respond to that. Cambosa
Especially
said
with
everything
these
was
guys'
mental
problems.
warfare. Him missing weight was mental warfare, and he went in
Yes,
there
it
and
was.
basically shitted on himself. So on top
He
of
got
that,
robbed.
we already discussed that Cambosa
Correct,
didn't
yeah,
lose the clinching; he lost to the jab. So I think
Again-
Loma's going to have that same problem with size and the jab.
Are you
No.
trying to justify Haney being on that list? It's weak.
he's a
He
backfoot
doesn't
bitch.
deserve to be
Furioso.
on that list. There's
Hey,
no
Rex,
reason
Rex,
why
Rex,
Haney
Rex,
doesn't be on that list.
Rex dogs.
Rex, you just trolling now, bro. I was like what you were saying, but now you just fucking trolling, bro. Now you just fucking around.
Truth, he beats dogs.
No
I mean,
way
I'm not
he
going to
deserves
agree with
be
him.
on that list. Maybe at number 7.
That's
Yeah,
the
bro, but
dumbest.
if you're speaking the truth, you can't just. If you don't like them, you
So he
don't be like.
supports dog fighting, though.
Yeah, I know. No,
Wait.
we gotta get over
Let's
that,
hear
bro.
about this dog fighting. Why do I bring
fuck.
dogs? What are you talking about?
Right.
Because you're
Fighter.
interrupting
And a
boxing.
pimp, and he's fat.
Man, come on. Let's stick to the topic here.
You're interrupting boxing to talk
Stay
about
with the
breeding
topic,
dogs.
bro.
Shut
Don't
the
get your
fuck up.
emotions put into it and all this race shit. Just get to the fucking point of it.
Logical man. Put your
Nah,
black.
man, hold on.
MMA's here. Hold on, clear. MMA's here. Go ahead, MMA.
We can't have all this mental illness in here, man. Fuck.
MMA is an honorary LDBC member. Go ahead, MMA.
What's going on? What's going on? Listen, logical man. Shut your black ass up, skunk.
Oh, yeah, logical. MMA, bro. I
Bro,
already know who you are, man. Blank hell, bro. Come on.
That's good. A big red X over Devin Haney's face. That's good. That's good.
That's good.
Does anybody really give a fuck about Devin Haney?
being
He's fucking a
undisputed.
boring
Put
fight.
him on the list.
To be honest,
You guys are always talking about Devin Haney. He's boring
I'm
as
going
fuck.
to make compliments for that undisputed, but I really don't give a fuck about it.
Yeah, he
He's-
didn't collect
he's got
the
some
belts,
belts,
though.
so what? Is he
Somebody
entertaining? Is
else
he
can collect the
exciting?
belts.
No.
Well,
Who
can
cares
I-
about it? That's my
can I-
philosophy right there.
Ruiz,
Well, can I-
get him off number one. Get him out of there. Get him out of there.
Can I address that one? Can I address that one thing somebody said? Somebody said they believe that Haney would do the same thing to Loma as he did with Gambosos. Now, let me just explain something. Gambosos wasn't afraid. It wasn't the power of Haney that was keeping him from stepping into the pocket and doing more. It was making him look stupid. He didn't want to keep swinging and getting just embarrassed. He didn't want, it was because his skill levels were so one-sided that he was starting to look stupid in there. That's not going to be the case with Lomachenko. Lomachenko's got better footwork than Haney. He doesn't. The only thing Haney has over Loma is length and a jab. When it comes to feints, setting traps, ring IQ, punch selection, without a doubt, I give all that power. That's all Loma.
Hey, Jimmy, you made perfect sense.
Okay, Jimmy, I agree.
Here's the thing.
I agree with you. Loma does that. I think Loma wins 3 rounds.
he would actually just clinch on him.
Yeah, but you saw. But did you see?
That
But
list
did you
is
see?
looking a lot better now. That list is looking a lot better now, to be honest.
Yeah, the list way better.
Remember? Go look back and see what how Loma handles people since Salido. That was like he said. He learned more from that Salido fight than it was actually. You know what I mean? He learned a lot from that because he's so nasty on the inside and just fights dirty. But look at like Rigondeaux. Anytime someone clinches him, look what he does: elbows in the face, and he violently pulls away, and then he hits them, and you know what I mean. He just he's learned how to deal with that, like most things. But it'd be totally different reaching out and grabbing. Because remember too, Haney didn't just reach out and grab Camboso; like he did it from distance a few times, like. He would throw a jab and then reach out, and if Gambosos had half the skills, he would have fucking caught him coming in.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? He's not going to do that with Lomachenko.
He would show that he was about to lunge in.
Yeah, if he did that to Loma, if he reaches out from that far to grab onto Loma, he's going to fucking eat some nasty uppercuts.
I think I can hear.
Okay, Jimmy, and I agree with you. I think Loma is going to perform better. It was a shutout against Cambosa. I think Loma wins 3 rounds. So it'll be close.
I give Loma 4 or 5 rounds.
Bro, what's wrong with y'all, bro?
Are you guys drunk? Are you guys drunk? Really?
You guys think
Loma's going to hurt Haney? That little grabbing under the waist shit is not going to work with Loma, bro.
And do you guys remember how talented in prime Gary Russell Jr. was? I mean, he's a fucking talented fighter. When he was in his prime, and do you remember fucking what Loma did with that when he tried all that other shit? Like Gary said, like that was a different level. Like I wasn't expecting that. Most people don't. Like listen. My thing is this: you look at who the fighters, the people who actually do this game, who the people they put up on pedestals are the ones that they're most in awe with. And Loma's one of those dudes that other professional fighters
Loma's
go,
overrated.
holy shit.
Loma's overrated.
What?
Badly.
Mirage is an idiot. Mirage is an idiot.
So let's get to serious talk. I always hear about Lomachenko.
He's hearing your monotone ass voice. It's terrible.
He's only had Mirage fights, and he's lost 2 of them. What the fuck
Hey,
is
Mirage,
that?
you don't have any weight in this fucking
history.
Shut up.
Has been
Mirage,
given
be
his sort
quiet,
of
dude.
competitor
He's looking in the head of that kangaroo.
Hey, one person at a time.
Guys, hold on. Jimmy, I want to hear Jimmy and then Mirage. Jimmy.
Mirage.
All right,
no worries.
No, you're not.
Hold on, Jimmy and then Mirage. Come on.
And then boom, boom.
All right, first off, to just discredit 2 losses like Salido was a nobody, that he wasn't a 2-time world champion and one of the best inside fighters and dirty as a motherfucker. But he was a talented.
He got knocked out a lot.
What's up? But still,
got knocked out a lot.
Let me finish. Sugar Ray Robinson lost 19 times. So does he suck? You know what I mean? Like he loses because he fought more current and ex-world champions, 11 of them in 18 fights, more than anybody. Fast. He actually became a 3 world champion faster than anybody in the history of the sport. He fought more ex and current world champions than anyone in the history of the sport in 18 fights.
Let me respond to those 10 points.
All right. Guys, there's too much.
Let me respond to that.
I wasn't done, but whatever, I'm done.
Nicholas Walter. Mirage is the same guy that chose Nicholas Walter to beat Loma.
Let me respond to you.
Mirage turn. Mirage turn.
Huh?
You're welcome.
How could you?
Okay, so people talk about, oh, he's the fastest ever to get, to become a world champion. Sure. How many fighters in history were given the opportunity in the second fight to become world champion? How many were? How many had that opportunity served on the platter undeservedly?
Hold on. There's no deserves, dude.
Can I
You gotta
talk?
get
Yes,
it.
there
Like,
is.
Can I talk? Because most people coming out of the amateurs don't fight for a world title in their second pro fight. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't happen. It wasn't because they gave it to him out of what they gave it to him. They gave it to him because of his amateur record.
The WBO.
I'm gonna have to.
Keyshawn Davis asked what title opportunity he has right now.
All right.
Can I talk here? So we want to create a superstar. We have an agenda to make money here. So we're gonna serve up WBO championship on his second fight versus a journeyman. And this was the plan.
Dude, journeyman. I'm not going to listen to this journeyman. He's not a journeyman. Now you're being disingenuous.
What was the result? What was the result after losing to a journeyman in his second fight?
Hold on.
He was given another world title shot in his next fucking fight. So he didn't deserve the first title shot. He didn't deserve the second title shot.
In the third title shot, in the third professional fight he fought.
If every fighter was given this, there would have been like 50 champions.
No, every other fighter wouldn't have fucking had the skills to do it. On his third professional fight, he fought Gary Russell, who was considered one of the best talented fighters fighting at the time. And he beat him.
Every round.
But he beat him.
If you gave Mike Tyson a world title shot in his second fight, he would have become world champion in his second fight as well.
I watched Mike Tyson lose in the amateurs to a fucking slow-footed Irish kid. So that's bullshit. I watched him get picked apart and roll when he was fucking amateurs.
Lomachenko, they talk about his amateur record like
490 fucking in one loss. He defended twice.
I'll give you the hot take. The more amateur fights you win, the less impressive it becomes.
World level too.
He was beating up much younger, inexperienced fighters.
No, he wasn't.
That's so true. What do you have? 400 amateur fights. You're obviously going to be far more experienced.
Hold on.
Most of your
he's going to come into this
career is simply like
just mute that motherfucker. Seriously,
guys. I have to interject here because I have to help Butcher mute people. Listen. You can't all talk at this. I know it's open like Friday, but you can't be fucking talking over each other. It's little between Jimmy and Mirage, all right?
Yeah, I know the facts can trigger people when they get emotional, but we need to calm.
No, it's not facts. It's your opinion, and your opinion's based off bullshit. You're sitting there saying Lomachenko fought a bunch of kids younger than him. Because most of the guys stop. Let me finish. Most because he come out with one of the greatest amateur records in the history of the sport, and he asked for the fight. And they say, okay, you're willing to do it. Most promoters are not going to sign a guy, pay that kind of money, give him that opportunity because he's just going to lose on it. But because he had that talent, then he went on to made guys like Walters, undefeated, power puncher, quit on his stool. Rigondeaux quit, humiliated him. Everybody had Rigondeaux for years beating him. But and what about Russell and all these other things he's done in there, and the level is Nicholas Walters is a great fighter.
Hang on. Obviously, if you're a talented fighter, which he is, and you stay in the amateurs forever, you're going to have a very good amateur record because you're going to be beating up on people, on amateurs that are younger,
No,
less
you're not,
experience.
dude. No,
How
you're
are
not,
you
dude.
not
He's
winning
fighting.
400 fights?
Can I finish? Can I finish?
How are
He
you
fought.
not?
He
How do you
fought.
not have an
He
experience
fought.
advantage when you have 400
All
fucking
right.
fights?
Okay, well, let me tell you, because he didn't fight fucking kids. He fought on the world stage. At the amateur level, when you're fighting at the worlds, most of the guys he fought were older than him.
That was still far less experienced, obviously.
But it doesn't.
But
But he was
you don't
winning
want to
Alright, fuck this shit. We're moving on. We're moving on.
Yeah, and
So
he was
amateurs is
nationalistic,
one thing. We're talking about the pros, okay?
and he come up and dominated in the pros too.
Mirage,
Yeah.
you're not talking about
Bro,
anything.
what you
After
think?
losing
Alright,
to a
can I say
journeyman in his
something?
second
And
fight.
listen, can I also say his two losses by no means were dominant losses. He lost by a fucking cunt here, both
Okay,
of them.
we can make the same excuses to every
He
fighter
lost
who
the-
loses.
That's
to
not an
the fight.
excuse. That's not an
No,
excuse. That's a
it's a
truth. He
reality.
really
It's
lost.
not an
If a fighter
excuse.
loses to a journeyman,
Oh, man.
they criticize and they go down the
Journeyman,
rankings.
yep.
Yet,
Okay,
when
who's
he
a
loses,
journeyman?
he goes
Who's a
up-
journeyman?
He goes,
Who's a
he's up in
journeyman?
the top 5 pound for pound,
Who's
despite
a-
losing to journeyman. This is
Who's a journeyman?
unprecedented.
Hey, Mirage, who's a
bullshit.
journeyman? Who's a journeyman, Mirage? Tell us, let everybody hear who's a journeyman.
Salido had 12 losses.
Okay,
That's a
I guarantee you, you had never seen him fight in your entire life. I would bet my life you've never seen him fight.
Any other fighter, if they have 12 losses, we write them off as like past their prime journeyman. But because he beats Lomachenko,
let BJ talk.
good. This guy
I
was
got
actually
BJ
a
talk.
good journeyman.
I
This
got
guy
a
was
question.
actually a good fighter,
I got a
despite having
question.
12 losses.
Just to add to the conversation here, Mirage. Which other Salido fights have you seen? Just out of curiosity, just to set the
I
ground.
don't need to see any Salido fights.
Exactly. Juan Ma Lopez beat up. Hey, you didn't have to see Juan Ma Lopez in Puerto Rico when he beat up Juan Ma. Get out of here.
How many other fighters do you fucking defend who have 12 losses and say, oh, they're a fucking quality fighter? It's not this
Juan Manuel Lopez was undefeated.
Hold on, people, please, one at a time. Jeez. All right, Mirage. So you don't need to see Sugar Ray Robinson to know how good he was. You just need to look at his record.
Okay, we're talking about the contemporary era. Don't start going back to Sugar Ray Robinson back when he fought like 200 times.
What about Robert
Contemporary
Duran? What
era,
about Robert Duran?
fighter that has 12 losses is categorically dismissed as either past their prime
Doesn't even know
or a
what to say
fucking
anymore.
journeyman. These are facts. Any fighter in this fucking contemporary era.
Please,
Don't
let
play
me,
games
let me,
now.
hold on.
Let Mr. BDA talk.
Fellas, what the fuck? Mirage. So you've never seen him fight, is what you're saying.
What's that got to do with him losing 12 times? Are you saying
Oh
he's
my
not
God,
that
it has everything to do with it.
Yeah.
Can you please answer the question? Can you please answer the question?
I have not seen his other fights, no. What's that got to do with the point?
How do you know? So based on but there's guys out there that have bad records because they've been mismanaged from the start, and then they hit a stride and they become good.
Yeah, which fighters are suddenly rated as like top class fighters that have over 10 losses?
First 2 fights. What are we talking about?
Mauricio
You
Lara
didn't answer the- we're talking about 12 losses. Go list them all.
Roberto Duran. What about him?
Listen. Well, hold on. Rash, I'm going to educate you on Salido since you don't know anything about him.
Oh.
He started out at 15 years old as a pro. He was mismanaged. He was thrown in there. That's why I'm telling you, you've never seen him fight, so you know how good he is. He was thrown to the lions den, as it often happens with Mexican boxers when they turn pro during their teenage years. He's fighting grown men. He's taking a couple of losses in 4-rounders. And then as he develops, he starts getting better and better and better and better. That's what happened when he fought Lomachenko. He beat Juan Manuel Lopez twice in Puerto Rico.
Beautiful.
That's not a guy Lomachenko should be losing to.
Fighters start off at the
Don't
same
try to
age.
make it
Many
up.
fighters start off
Hold on, I
15,
want to hear
16.
Mirage. I want to hear
We
Mirage.
don't suddenly excuse them when they lose 12 times.
Jesus
I'm not
Christ.
saying he's a complete
Hold on,
utter. I'm
Let
not saying
me-
he's a
let me
kid or
finish.
He's not a bad fighter, but he shouldn't be losing
he's
to a
not
guy
a
like
kid
that.
or a bum.
Let them
He
finish.
was an average, overall an average fighter. His record speaks
Yeah.
for itself. If
You
we judge his
you just
record,
said you didn't fucking see him fight, dude.
If
How
we
can you
judge
sit
his
there and say
record-
that?
He's
Oh
looking
my
at the
God.
record. He's looking at a record. Which that doesn't make
no,
that's
I'm saying this is the
We're
thing
not
that
trying to make it
probably
sound like
use.
Salido
that's
is
casual.
like
That's
coming
casual
behind.
shit. And by the way,
Okay,
I can hear
Rare Breed in the background saying some silly things
yeah,
too.
and now I hear Rare Breed saying that he shouldn't lose to a guy
He's
like
been
that.
KO'd about
Hold on, if his
Okay.
second
Breeze
professional,
in the house.
in his second professional, are you saying in his second professional
Hey.
fight, Lomachenko
Hey,
shouldn't lose?
Red Breed just
Hold on, fucking Christ! In his second professional fight, he shouldn't be losing to a guy like Salido. Who said that? Based on what? He had
He
two
shouldn't.
professional fights. He shouldn't because
Okay,
why?
if he's as good, hang on. If he's as
Hold on.
good as the
In the fight,
Fucking Christ,
we gonna hit him
man.
with
I'm asking
1,000
Red Breed.
low blows.
I'm
Hey,
asking
who was
Red
holding
Breed.
on the 12th
He's
round?
talking to
Hey, you're
Red Breed,
that guy
guys.
that
Let
they
him
say
let
you
Red
are. You
Breed
shouldn't
answer.
lose to the likes of Salido.
Oh, bullshit.
Why?
There again.
Wait, because you don't lose to say because of what? You haven't given me a proper explanation here.
Because I believed when they made that fight, they thought, oh, Lomachenko should win this fight, and then we can keep promoting
No,
him
they
as.
made it because they thought he was going to lose.
So what are you talking
So
about?
it's based on that. Based
So,
on that, he
so a
should
guy
have
who
won the
could be a
fight.
potential superstar, they're gonna make him a losable fight in his second fight.
Yeah, because he's
won,
willing
though.
to test
Why would
himself.
that make any business sense?
And the thing is, he just barely lost that fight.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's
He
used to
won,
this. No. Hold on. He's
Does
used to
Top
this.
Rank see any
No,
money in Salido
hold on,
or
hold on. I
Lomachenko?
understand what's going on. Red Breed's used to these American type of fighters where they take fucking 5 years to fight bumps, and then he finds no. Lomachenko's not that type of breed. He's not that type of fighter. He wanted to become a champion as soon as possible. That's why he had to fight the guys like that. So that's what it is. You don't understand.
Yeah,
That's why it's foreign to him. It's alien. I get it.
Bucho, I'm sure a lot of fighters, most fighters,
One thing we
would love to
established. One thing we established. Number one. First of all, so like Jimmy was saying too, they didn't want to make the Salido fight top rank. That was Lomachenko who insisted on doing it. He took a big risk there, fighting that guy, and he barely lost. Some people say that's an excuse.
How can he insist when he has two fights? He has no leverage.
If you watch the fight, if you actually watch the fight, if you actually watch the fight, hold on,
Let him finish. Let BDA finish.
If you actually watch the fight, which is what you're supposed to do, you will see that it was a very close fight. That's what happened. You can call it an excuse, speculation, whatever. It's not. It's what happened. Number two, we can have a discussion in good faith when one person here says, I don't need to see the fight. All I need to see is the record. I mean, well, then
it's a joke.
Exactly.
Let me not. When we predict a fight, let's not even watch the fights. Let's just go off the record. Let's go off of that. Where's the logic in that? Where's the logic in that, Mirage? Please tell me you were kidding when you said
I'll
that.
tell you the logic. This demonstrates their performances over their career. And this is the metric you use against any fighter. Have you ever heard of a fighter say 20 losses and you say, we can't judge his record? That's bad faith to judge that he's had 20 losses. We should ignore the 20 losses and look
But
at
that's not what's going on here.
You'll get
Hey, Mirage, how about
You'll
a
get
boxer that
laughed at,
turns?
okay?
Hey, hold on. How about a boxer that manages to turn his career around? So he started his career and he lost a lot of fights because he was mismanaged, whatever. And then
when did he turn it
hold
around?
on,
Because I
shut
see he's
your
losing
fucking mouth. Let me
consistently.
finish.
He's losing
Here's you go.
consistently.
So now you don't have nothing to say. Mirage, I'm giving you a hypothetical
BJ.
example that's destroying your fucking so-called logic here. I'm giving you a hypothetical example which could be true, right? So and you haven't even seen Salido fight, so you're just basing it on the record. So you could be wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. But you say no, I'm right. Based on what? You haven't even seen Salido fight. Don't you fucking get what? Oh, this is insanity, man. We have to.
And he won too. He won.
If you haven't seen the guy fight, you're basing on the record, and you could be wrong.
Never lost a fight or a round.
You keep giving me straw mans. You keep giving me straw mans here.
You're
It's not a straw man. It's not a straw man.
Can I
What did you say if
It's a red herring.
Listen, BDA.
Get off
Can
the
I
damn roof.
BDA talk.
Please.
Was Pacquiao a journeyman then?
A straw man is when you create something to attack a person or an argument, and you're setting that up, and it doesn't have. Gosh, you're not explaining anything well here. All right, number
it's a
two,
red herring. Then it's a red herring.
It's a red herring. You should have said that.
That's what you're doing.
Mirage.
This is like saying Glenn Johnson was actually an elite fighter.
Why don't you let me talk, Mirage? Why don't you let me talk, Mirage?
Nobody lets me talk. That's the problem.
You all the time.
So you're not gonna let me talk then?
If you're ready, you're ready.
No, talk. Okay, talk.
Okay. I already explained to you that Salido lost a bunch of fights in the beginning of his career when he was 15. Do you remember that? Yes or no?
Sure.
So a guy who's fighting as basically no amateur experience as a teenager, that's it. Those losses define him forever. No matter what he does afterwards, that's it.
The problem is he kept losing consistently throughout his career.
No,
yes, he did.
man, you haven't seen the guy fight.
You didn't even know.
He's facing a
boxer
boxer.
Losing consistently.
Oh my God.
This is a waste of time.
World
Man, I think that the fights you've been watching are all mirages.
Okay, Mirage.
How do you lose 12 fights without losing consistently? Tell me this. Tell me this. Explain this.
Explain what?
Explain what?
I claimed he was losing consistently because he had 12 losses. You're saying blah blah blah. You're crazy, Mirage.
Okay, and who was he losing consistently against? Without looking at box rec, tell me who he
was he fighting consistently elite? Was he losing to elite fighters? Is that your argument now?
Explain to me who he was consistently losing against, because that matters.
Well, there's so many.
I don't know. I've never seen him fight.
I know there's so many. I know there's so many.
He lost to without looking at boxing.
Mirage, basically you have no context. You don't have a context. That's what we're trying to say.
Most of them don't even have a Wikipedia.
Have context. That's you just
Most
looking at the
of his
record. You
losses,
miss
opponents
context.
don't even
the
have a
problem. When you
Wikipedia.
look at a record, you're gonna miss the context. Who he lost?
what context
how
am I missing?
close
Tell
were
me.
those fights? You miss a lot of things just looking at the record. It's ridiculous.
So now a loss doesn't count if it's close. It's no big deal. It was close.
There's a difference, Mirage.
He never lost a round, Mirage.
He's out of fight.
Okay, can someone else talk? Someone else talk.
We are defending a
okay, we're gonna Mirage. We get the point.
I don't know what's going on.
Hold on, because everyone keeps jumping in, fellas. It has
But
to
I'm
be
done with
one-on-one.
Mirage, man. What else? This guy's dishonest.
Well, hold on. Let me continue this.
Can I just say something, BJ?
Go ahead, Furioso.
Wait, let BDA
say something about Loma.
Oh yeah, go BDA.
Hey, can I? I'm gonna have to start kicking people off, man, because people keep interrupting me. Has to be one-on-one here, otherwise it's not gonna work.
Alright, but end that, man. It's getting boring, man.
Mirage, I asked you without looking at box rec, name me who he fought. There's so many. That's not what I asked. I asked, name me some without looking at box rec. Name me some of those losses that you think are so egregious.
Okay, any loss is essentially
And you
egregious on a
please
fighter's
give
record.
me some losses. Give me some
I don't-
losses. please.
Mirage,
I don't
go to
need-
Wikipedia. Help. Go
I
to
don't need
Wikipedia.
to. I don't need to list the names. All
Go
the
to Wikipedia if you don't know.
matter is,
Oh my god.
even if he
Please,
has 12
please,
close
please.
losses, even if they're all close, even if they're against decent fighters, that still demonstrates this guy is fucking not an elite fighter, and he's a fucking by the general standard that we judge other fighters. Any other fighter, when he fights an opponent with 12 losses, okay, he's fighting an average fighter. Now we're using a different standard against because he beat Lomachenko. We're trying to inflate this dude to defend Lomachenko. This is the fucking what's happening here.
Let me speak something. Let me speak something.
He was a predetermined superstar.
Fellas, I just told you it has to be one-on-one, and you all jump all over. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to keep people out of this. If you keep interrupting, jeez, Luis. You keep saying, well, he has 2 losses, but again, we go back to a little problem here. You've never seen him fight.
I've seen Lomachenko fight. I haven't seen much of his opponent.
So how can you? That's the whole problem here. How can you make a determination of how good a fighter is if you've never seen him fight?
Boy, hang on. Boy, are you saying we don't judge a fighter by his record?
Let me finish. I let you finish. Let me finish. You can't judge a fighter's skill, talent, aggressiveness, toughness without seeing him fight. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I think the best way to judge a Korean...
Get out of here, man. Fuck. This
So
is
you
a
are.
politician.
Can I respond? You want to... Okay. You were now saying... You were saying one judging a fighter...
I asked you a question.
You don't. Okay, let me answer. You don't judge a fighter by looking at 1 or 2 fights. You judge him by the totality of his career.
Why won't you
That's
ask
how you
my
judge
question?
fighters. I just gave you the answer right there.
See, Mirage, you're arguing.
BDA.
Mirage, you're arguing in bad faith, man.
Yeah, this is.
Because
I don't like this.
Bad faith.
I don't like this.
I'm
shit.
judging his whole career. You want to cherry pick 1 or 2
I asked you
fights.
simple questions. I asked you simple
Just like Devin
questions.
Haney.
What I'm saying is, where I'm coming from is, you're not answering my questions. You're ruining the show. And I think Butch is right. Listen, we already established that you don't even watch these fights.
No, it's ridiculous. It's a fatality, man. Fatality.
I answered the question the way I want to answer it. I didn't give you the answer you want.
In fact, a couple of weeks ago, I asked you, how long have you been watching for? You said on and off.
I've been watching maybe longer than you, BJ. Don't start.
On and off, you said. On and off. So if you've been watching,
transition to MMA.
If you've been watching boxing since, let's say, 1980, and I've been watching it, let's say, since 90, right? A 10-year gap. But you're only watching it every 5 years. You have not been watching boxing longer than I have, and it shows because you don't even know who Salido is.
Yeah,
No, I don't watch. I don't watch. Yeah, I don't watch these no names who lose 12 fights for sure. I don't,
Salido
my
fought
attention
top
is not on them.
contenders, top fighters. He fought.
Hey, if you
miss
fight
those
top
fights,
contenders
you miss
and
those
you keep
fights.
losing, you're not fucking good.
No,
okay,
he,
you're not
he
fucking
fought
good.
champions.
Wasn't
Sorry,
Salido a
fought,
champion, though?
If you keep losing to champions, you're not fucking good.
Holy
if you keep
Christ!
losing.
He was a champion, though.
And by the way, we forget that Lomachenko was his second professional fight. So that doesn't take. You have to take that also into account. And it was a close fight, and a lot of people had Lomachenko winning. But Mirage only wants to look at the record, and that's it. And look at the losses that Salido had. So it doesn't make sense.
How good is he? How good is Salido? You tell me. Like out of 1 to 10, what level fighter is he? You tell me. Is he like a 7?
He was a world champion.
That's why I asked
It
you.
was his second professional fight.
How good is Salido? How do you rate him as a fighter?
Holy shit, nah, man.
Something on Lomo?
No, I want to hear. Let's hear Furioso. I want to see what he has to say.
Thank you.
I just want to say something on quickly on Loma. That there's this perception of him like, oh, why should he have got these chances early in his career? And I do understand he has been Bob Aaron's sort of like baby. Bob Aaron does like him. But regardless of that fact, he does come with that background and amateur pedigree, 2 Olympic golds and what have you. And there's always that saying in sport and in life whereby you say, oh, the kid ain't ready. He needs a few more fights, this, that, and the other. That's a saying that it's in every sport, in every walk of life. And with Lomo, we knew the kid was ready. So, because of his pedigree, skill set, you can just see.
Yeah, MJ.
That's why. So it's a
you can make the same argument for like 20 different fighters. Can I just say, BDA, I don't think it's fair for you to guys say I'm being bad faith by saying by judging a fighter by his record. If you had a fighter, logically, we're using your logic, with like 30 losses, he's got 10 wins and 30 losses. I've never seen him fight. You could make the same claim. Have you seen him fight? And I'll say no. And he goes, well, then you can't judge him, which would be ridiculous on its face.
You can't. Mirage, you fucking don't.
Let me answer that.
So don't give me that bullshit, okay?
Let me answer that. First of all, yes, you can, because if a guy can beat 10 quality, out of those 10 wins, 5 of those quality wins, and he could be completely inconsistent. He could be a drunk, as we've seen many fighters be, and they lose a bunch of fights because they can't get enough of them. So he can have 5 or 10 good
it's
quality.
ridiculous. He could be on 5 wins in a row. 5 wins in a row against. It could happen. So don't you get that, Mirage? Do you get that? Yes or no? Do you get that? Do you understand this example? Do you understand this hypothetical example?
I understand that certain fighters can perform well sometimes. They can be inconsistent and then keep losing consistently. Do you know what we call those fighters? We generally call them like journeymen or good quality gatekeepers. That's what we. That's how we.
Oh my fucking god!
Let me ask. That's why, Mirage. That's why I asked you, name who he lost and who he beat without looking at boxer.
I just responded to that point. I'm not saying he's a bum. He can have good performances, but the fact he still loses consistently demonstrates his limitations as a fighter.
This is all dependent, but you don't even know who he beat. That's the thing. You don't even.
Like,
so you
even if he beat,
you just look at the fucking record. You just said it. You just look at the record. So stop it. Stop making all this bullshit, man. You just look at the fucking record. So that's it. You just look at the record. We understand. You're missing a lot of context. You're missing a lot of context. We agreed. It's logical. You like logic. It's logical. If you just look at the record, you're gonna be missing a lot of context. That's a fact. All right. So, or do you disagree with that, Mirage? Do you disagree with that statement? That if you just look at the record, you're gonna lose a lot of context.
Yeah, but I can accept that even if I concede within that context, he's still capable of performing and having good wins.
This is why I
said the question after
not making any sense. All right, that's it. Mirage, you're done.
Yeah, this is why I said bad. This is why I said he's arguing in bad faith, because he will not answer questions. He keeps running around.
You gotta pin him down because he goes all over the place. You gotta pin this guy.
I want to answer the question after
You gotta remember, it's Australia. You gotta remember, it's Australia. It's nighttime over there. No, it's actually daytime over there in Australia. So he's probably
in the morning. It's in the morning.
Upside down. Everything's upside down. Everything's upside down over there. Upside down.
Yeah.
I have a question for Bucho.
All right. Listen, let's move on from let's move on to the Lomachenko thing, because then it didn't get anywhere, and we got stuck with. Well, I don't need
Well,
to
he was
see
supposed to
that
beat
guy's all gonna do.
Salido by stoppage or something. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Hey, by the way, can I give my can I give my Reyes prediction? Vargas, sorry, not Ray Vargas.
Vargas.
Yeah, Reyes. I said Reyes. But the reason I hear a lot of people, talking about who's going to win this one. It's a 50-50 fight. I give the edge a little bit to Vargas because I think he's a little craftier. Magsayo is more of a counterpuncher. That's why the Gary Russell Jr. fight was weird, because he was actually looking better when Russell had two good arms and thrown with both hands, because he was able to counter Russell. Once Russell fucked up and started going on the defensive, Magsayo's lack of fundamentals, he couldn't chase the guy down, so he's a natural counterpuncher, so it just became a boring fight where not much happened. And I think that's going to be the same thing with Vargas. Vargas is not going to give him a lot of openings, I don't think. So, fucking Magsayo likes it when guys go at him. Like that Mexican dude he knocked out in that war in, I forget which undercard it was. It was the guy that got beat by Ligondo, that Mexican dude. He went at Magsayo, and Magsayo looked good now. Ceja, yes, thank you, Julio Ceja. Yeah. So, but I still think, though, it's going to be a bit of a boring fight. Vargas, there's a reason why we haven't seen him all that much, is because he's not a puncher. He's not an aggressive guy. He does the bare minimum to win fights. It's not exciting. And, so that's my prediction. That's all I want to say about that.
Don't you see Magasso, what you said, the way Vargas fights, don't you see Magasso, he throws from all angles. That's why I think he's going to win. Vargas likes to retreat in a high guard, and Magasso's going to hit him everywhere. I mean, he's going to, be throwing low, high, and I think
he does throw harder. He does punch harder than Vargas, that's for sure. So that could play a fight. Vargas looks, I don't know what you guys think. I think Vargas looks weak, maybe because he's so thin. I don't know, but I don't know if he's going to be able to.
But hold up. But this is his first fight at this new weight class, right?
Yeah, he's moving up from two weight classes.
So maybe he might have a little more power. I don't know. He was draining himself a lot at 122.
Power like what? I mean, is he 1K and KOing guys?
No, not 1K, not one punch KO, but I'm saying he might be able to accumulate some damage, with the added weight.
He's not going to back Mayo. He's not going to back Magasso up.
No, he doesn't have to, but I could see him catching him with an uppercut on the way in.
Hey guys,
yeah,
you know why we should do this? We should do overrated or not overrated.
Let's do it then.
So I'm gonna place Lomachenko in the not
Canelo.
overrated.
Overrated.
All right.
Lomachenko
Let's see. The thing is, if we start off with Canelo, we're gonna get Mirage going fucking all over the place again.
Canelo's got to be on the list.
Lomachenko has never lost a fight. How is he overrated?
Another. Give me another.
Overrated.
Give me another name. Somebody else.
Devin Haney. Devin Haney.
Wait,
Devin Haney.
Devin Haney, overrated.
All right, Devin Haney.
It depends where you rate him. Nobody said he's half a pound overrated.
Crawford. Crawford. Overrated.
All right, let's start with Devin Haney.
Overrated.
All right, whatever.
Shakur. What about
we got Devin. Look at the screen.
Overrated.
Look at the screen.
Overrated.
No,
overrated.
He's undisputed.
Overrated.
He's fine.
Overrated.
Overrated. Big nose.
He's right there exactly where he should be, in my opinion.
Big nose. Muslim.
The shirt matches the overrated color.
Listen.
The shirt matches the overrated color.
A. Name the A fighter that he beat.
Undisputed champion ever. Worst undisputed champion ever.
He's undisputed. I mean,
Disgrace to boxing.
Who's the
Disgrace to
He's
boxing.
22 years old and he's undisputed.
With a C-level fighter.
Nobody's claiming he's a top pound for pound, so I think it's appropriate.
Lomachenko is.
Nobody considers him the best fighter in the world, anything.
Maybe one at a time.
Okay, let me go real quick.
Yeah, let rare breed, and then boom boom.
Okay, how can Devin Haney be overrated? I haven't heard anybody say, "Oh, he's the best fighter in the world."
The one person that he beat that was an A fighter. Who did he beat that was an A fighter?
He beat whoever they put in front of him. I would say Linares, what's his name, JoJo, and Campos is a solid resume. It's not a great resume, but a solid resume.
They're B pluses.
The question, hold on, fellas. The question was a fighter.
But but by the way, how many A fighters are out there? There's like one or
The
two.
question was A fighter. That's it. Don't give me how many are there. The question was which A fighter.
Settle.
Answer that.
Who out there has beaten A fighters?
So, do you consider Lomachenko an A fighter?
Okay,
Lomachenko's
yeah.
an A fighter.
Well,
Are we talking
just
about
because he
Lomachenko?
has.
Are we talking about Lomachenko again, or are we talking about Devin Haney?
No, they're trying to say that Haney beat an A fighter. They're trying.
Okay,
Okay,
okay. If that's what we're gonna use, then everybody's overrated because not many people have beaten A fighters.
Lomachenko's not overrated.
Yeah, that's why there's only a few A's, weirdo.
By
weirdo, by your own logic, that's why there's only a few A's. You just kind of shot yourself in the foot.
So who's an A fighter Lomachenko is beating?
That's why the world has rich and poor, because there's only so many A's. That's why the teacher gives out so many A's. That's why it's an A. Yeah, there's
Name
a ton
an
of
A fighter
B's.
Loma's beating.
There's a million B's.
All right, can I interject here? Can I interject? Because we're getting away. We're
Okay,
going
thank
back
you.
to
That's what I thought.
We're going back to Lomachenko, everyone's favorite fighter. All right, with Devin Haney, I'll say this with Devin Haney. A lot of people, myself included, were saying he was going to beat Kambosos. It wasn't a surprise. So how much credit can we give him beating a guy that we knew was a limit? And in fact, a lot of people were saying
in the manner as well.
A lot of people were saying, a lot of people were saying that the Teofimo Lopez fight was a fluke. So are you really gonna say this guy's the best if he beat a guy that whose best win was a fluke?
He's been calling out Teofimo a long time, to be fair.
Kambosos was a B fighter. Everybody knew that.
Not before the fight. Let me answer.
Kambosos to win that fight.
Okay, can I answer? So basically, Devin Haney is the lineal champion. So by proxy, since he beat Kambosa, he beat Tio and Lomachenko. That's what the lineal champion is.
No, you gotta beat the man. You gotta beat the man.
Lomachenko's
That's the worst take than the one that Mirage had. All I know.
That's what happens when you have a stepfather.
Yep. Oh, hey, don't say that now. Boo Boo will get look crazy now. Don't do that.
I'm kidding.
Zoom in his welfare check.
Why don't you just go across the list and make it easy? Just ask one person to the list, just one answer, that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
We want everybody to contribute.
So, hold on. Let's go quickly. We start with Amok, and then we go down the list. So, Amok, Devin Haney's on trial. Overrated or not overrated?
He's overrated. We just said
it.
it.
He's okay. I won't say he's overrated or underrated. I will say he's boring, and he went undisputed with the C-level fighter.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's go down the list. Then we're gonna skip Mr. BA, I guess. Cardo 52. Go ahead. Cardo going once.
Delete.
Wait. What? You guys confused because everybody fucking talks at the same time about different shit. I don't know what you guys are talking about now.
All right. Devin Haney, overrated, underrated? Yes or no?
Overrated. Okay. He's overrated. Look, Kambosos won that because Teofimo's dad's game plan was fucking retarded, and he underestimated Kambosos. Kambosos did a good job of when Teofimo was just going mayhem on him. He kept his composure and was able to even, catch him on over aggressiveness. But he even dropped him. So by the 6th round, he was so tired. He actually had Kambosos hurt and couldn't even fucking swing to finish him. So it was just poor. And even Teofimo almost knocked out Kambosos later on when he started just.
Yeah, all right, calm down.
All right, we get it. You're driving, so we get the point. We gotta move on. Furioso.
Yeah, I think we're rating the fighters too highly. To make Kambosos a B level, what does that make Haney an A? He's never a bloody A. So fucking Kambosos are like on an F. Haney's on of course he's overrated. He's like a B plus fighter to my eyes, obviously my standard, because I got very high standards. There's no way I'm rating Haney on a fucking A or B. He's like a C minus. Kambosos, no, seriously.
Yeah.
And
Ruiz is the best
like
American fighter.
F or fucking H or something. Honestly, because I've got high standards. So yeah, he's very overrated. The worst undisputed champion ever.
It seems like the overall majority have said overrated on Haney. I mean, we got one or two.
The worst undisputed champion ever. That's
Oh
his
man,
title.
that's pretty bad.
That's his
All right,
title.
That's
All
three
right,
in a
all
row.
right.
Overrated.
Let's
Haney.
go to
Wait,
Gabu.
and let me respond right quick.
Well, yeah,
Hold on,
this demographic on this panel, not surprised.
All right,
I want to
Gabagu.
collect all the belts and be
Says the
overrated.
dog beater.
All right, hold on. We got
Hold on.
from top to bottom. So we gotta go with Gabagu. Gabagu. Go ahead.
Devin Haney is overrated.
Ah. Yes.
And he is overrated because he doesn't have he hasn't shown the endurance, the chin. Like, he got wobbled by Linares. There's a lot of there's some holes in his game that Kambosos couldn't, he couldn't take advantage of. But I mean, eventually they'll get exposed.
All right. So
All right, next.
next, who's next?
Overrated.
No, I am. No, sorry. I am your leader. Go ahead.
He's overrated, and like I say, he's just another Devin Alexander.
Alexander's
That's
better.
weird.
Alexander's
Nothing like
Alexander had a
Devin's
chin.
better. Alexander is.
Alexander had a granite chin.
All right.
Devin Alexander
Better than
and Devin
Haney,
Haney are the same people.
Never been knocked down.
Yeah, that's true. They're both on welfare.
Wow. You talking about Rich?
Lie about it.
Now, Bill Haney ain't on welfare.
All
But
right.
Mirage wouldn't know who Devin Alexander is.
He knows the record. He looked at the record. That's all. That's all he needs. Just fuck that shit, man.
He knows the record, though.
By the way, the logical man, thank you for your contribution. He says Boom Boom was seeing Reed after that stepdad line.
Red.
Red after that.
Can I just respond to that?
I was kidding. I was
Red after that stepdad line.
No, just for a second. Like, looking at a record, I mean, nothing speaks more objectively than a record. So don't dismiss
whatever. Don't push me. Okay, whatever. I'm tired.
So Devin Haney, I think he's sort of appropriately ranked, isn't he? Like, nobody is saying he's like top 5 pound for pound. So I don't know.
Exactly.
I think he's sort of reasonably appropriately rated, in my opinion.
But there's people saying that he can be the best lightweight in the world like a couple years ago.
No, he's on top right now.
We're talking right now. Where is he in the pound for pound? Where is he rated? Because I don't even know.
But part of racing,
I think they took him.
if you're gonna say that someone is overrated, that means that the people are talking about him highly.
Which generally pound for pound is sort of a good measure. How the general
somebody in the past can be overrated.
If anything, this panel proves he's not overrated because most people are saying he's overrated, right?
Well, let me add something about that. Let me add something to this. Let's look at the performance. I think that's going to give us a good ground work here.
Not according to Mirage.
I know, but that's already we already established that. Now, listen, when he fought Kambosos, a lot of people, the reason why they were, and listen, it's on the record. I was one of the hosts for Open Live Fridays the day before the actual fight, and I went around asking people for their predictions and maybe a little bit of a why they thought their pick was going to happen. And fucking 90% of it, or maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe it was a little bit less than that, so we're saying Haney wins because Kambosos is a fluke. He got a fluke. So therefore, we're already going in there with the expectation of he's supposed to beat him. Now, then, if he's already supposed to beat him, how is he going to beat him? Is he going to look sensational? Is he going to school the guy? Well, he won a decision with that jab. He didn't add the right hand. There were no real left hooks. He didn't try to push to end the fight to put a hurt on the guy. So we do have to take punts away from that. That's a fact when you look at the guy's performance. But you also got to add that no matter who he beat, he's got all the belts. He's the man right now. So that sort of adds a little bit more weight to his work.
And he did it. He did it in his opponent's hometown or home country too, which is pretty impressive.
Oh my god!
Right.
Hey Bucho, are you going down the panel?
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry.
Yeah. Where are we, man? I think we missed some. Kenshiro, go ahead. Let's make it quick. Kenshiro.
Overrated.
I wasn't trying to fight you, video.
Oh yeah, overrated. He got a free belt, and the rest somebody else done the work for him. He beat the
Exactly.
White Buster.
Easy route. Easy route.
He fought the White Buster Douglas, and all his game plan is just
his hardest fight was the airplane fucking flight to Australia. That was his hardest fight.
Yeah, all Haney's game
fight,
plan
that
is
was
is
it.
either
Jet
all Haney's game plan is grabbing or running. He should give a gay Paul a
And
try.
everybody knows.
Okay, let's
knows.
move on. So keep it the white busters on list.
Linares fight. Everybody knows that the Linares fight was a paid fucking training session.
All right.
Because I spoke at the end. I was my power. It was a very well paid training session. Now, Linares easily bribed.
Okay, so
right,
LDBC, boom. Go ahead.
Devin Haney has all the belts. Name 3 people that can beat Devin Haney at 135. I don't think you
Lomachenko,
can.
Entire division.
Ryan
The
Garcia.
entire division can beat him.
He's the weakest
Ryan
one.
Garcia.
The bum.
Lomachenko.
Ryan Garcia will fuck him up.
Ryan Garcia would knock him out.
Even Clarissa Shields can beat him.
I just say Loma.
Clarissa Shields got more power than Haney. It's a fact.
Yeah,
They was on the punch bag. They was on the punch bag in Vegas, and Clarissa Shields beat fucking Haney on the punch bag in Vegas. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
You named your 3 guys.
200 kg.
We gotta keep going down the list because that's not a good argument. Well, who else could beat him? Well, that's another fucking question right there, man. So
he doesn't know shit about boxing.
All right. Rare breed.
Oh, here we go. I was the first person to go.
Oh shit, sorry, Rex.
All right, my turn. Devin Haney is the most overrated fighter ever. Those aren't even his belts. Lomachenko's the champion. Lomachenko's the champion. And he's the greatest fighter that ever walked the earth. Simple as that.
All right.
He has never lost a fight 4 rounds.
All right.
Okay, now that's being overrated.
Soothsayer.
Yeah.
Debate me then.
Okay,
All right.
I'm gonna go. He's overrated in the sense of he appeals to the black person that has a father figure, right? He's just like check marking all these things that all these white people that are cucked love about him. His father is there.
The fake religion, claiming to be Muslims.
Exactly, claiming to be
Muslims.
Exactly, he's got the chains. He's got the puff daddy image.
He's got the rim
with him.
When are we getting to Canelo? When are we getting to Canelo? That's all I want to know.
Sounds like you have a personal thing against him. You don't even care about the boxing.
Oh yeah, he said
most of these people got personal shit going on in their life.
Sounds like you have the personal thing.
He said white boys can't fight. Well, Lomachenko's gonna show him what a white boy can do.
All right. No, let's at least finish this. Let's give everybody a chance here. Who's next? Sports. Go ahead.
I said it before. I'm gonna say it again. He's definitely overrated. The standard I remember how we judged before the 4 belt, before this undisputed. It was about the WBC, IBF. WBO came later. Now, when WBO came around, everybody knew that was probably the weakest champion. That's what Floyd would do. He would go up. Remember, he went up and fought Carlos Baldomir. Everybody knew Baldomir he's basically Baldomir's Cambosis 2022. And he was called out for that. So let's not try to make Devin Haney what he's not.
But they weren't always the weaker
Strong
champion.
argument, honestly.
They weren't always the weaker champion. At the end of the day, that was an American thing of keeping the fucking WBC over there and then the WBO for the rest of the fucking world. That's why Nigel Benn, he won the WBO or whatever, and then he eventually got the WBC belt. But it's not always that they were weaker champions. There were many great WBOs, like Kozaki.
That's true. It was more of a European
thing. That was just a control thing because the Americans always wanted to control.
The champions, one of the champions was Vernon Force. He chose to fight Carlos Baldomir.
Champions you just named though were from the UK, and so that means that they're biased towards the UK.
No, Floyd Mayweather. When he went up, he got Carlos Baldomir, and he was called out for that because there was other stronger champions. So what I'm saying is, this is nothing new. What Haney did, being able to get a gift by fighting a C. Cambosos. It's nothing new. But we're trying to say, undisputed, but we have to keep a standard. WBA was late to the party, and that was one of the weaker belts. It wasn't even recognized till when? A couple years ago? So people forget
2007.
history. We need to keep that in mind.
All right, let's just finish this. Logical man, go ahead.
He's muted.
I'm gonna say Haney's overrated, and that's because of LGBT.
Oh, great answer. I like it.
Can I add something?
Yes.
Yeah, you would like that.
Honestly, I forget they exist.
From a marketing perspective, I'm always interested to see who the next big star could be in boxing. And Devin Haney, for a while, when he was still scoring stoppages in the early stage of his career, it looked like, well, he could develop into a power puncher. He may not, time would tell. Now time has told. He's not the biggest puncher out there. He doesn't have that killer instinct to go,
He might be the smallest puncher out there.
Well,
I'm not
Mr.
BDA, let me finish, please. I'm not saying he's pillow fisted, but you got to admit, most people, if you want to get become a mainstream boxer, you have to be somewhat entertaining. Please don't give me Floyd Mayweather. That guy was an anomaly. Number two, if you compare him to the guy that most people compare him to, Shakur Stevenson is just as uneventful. His fights are just as uneventful as Devin Haney, but he's got a little something that he can actually beat Haney in the attracting supporters. Maybe not that many more supporters, but a little bit more supporters. Shakur Stevenson has low impulse control outside the ring. Also, his family tends to get into a lot of trouble. They seem to instigate a lot of stuff, as he does as well. And I think that attracts a certain demographic. So I think, and whereas Devin Haney, I used to think he was a little bit of a, like a mean streak in him. I don't think he has it. I think he's actually a well-behaved guy outside of the ring, contrary to Shakur Stevenson's family members. So I think that might play a factor. Was that?
Two comments I have. I have two comments here. One, like I think it should be concerned. It should be a concern for Devin Haney that he doesn't have that much power 135 because I hear people talk about this guy eventually even moving up to welterweight. A multi because he's so talented, he's gonna be a multiple division champion. But if he doesn't have that power 135, then it's gonna be pretty fucking dangerous for him to move up in weight. And also a second point was I forgot. Fuck.
But can I add? Well, actually, let's be honest. Well, can I add something about Devin Haney? Is there a possibility that he's making 135 right now and it's taking a toll on his body, and if he moves to 140, he might? Is it a possibility?
Absolutely.
It's possible. Yeah. I've seen that. We've seen that.
It's possible. He's young too.
Look at Montana Love.
Yeah, it can happen. I mean, he could be more comfortable at 140 and therefore maybe improve his power.
He's not even a fully grown man yet.
Well, can I
BDA,
give my
here's why you
opinion?
might be wrong. BDA, here's why you might be wrong. He has all the potential opponents to become a star if he beats them. If he beats a Ryan Garcia, a Tank Davis, he basically takes on their fan base. Or
I agree.
He gets
No, he's right. If he beats all these guys, especially Ryan Garcia, then he can become a star. But
I disagree because the guy with the biggest upside in boxing, the biggest guy with the biggest upside in boxing, apart from the heavyweight, is Ryan Garcia. He's if he gets all these Ws, he can become a billionaire boxer.
Oh, that's for sure.
With these other guys, they'll be more recognizable and what have you, but they won't be as big.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Ruiz makes a good point. Who disagrees with this though? Like if everybody gets their W's, their wins, who would be the biggest star? Because just let's say
it's Ryan.
Yeah, it's Ryan. That's for sure.
Ryan.
Absolutely.
The hate
I have a culture behind him. Drag queens, they all love him.
I gotta go with Tank because he has more finishes.
No, it's not about the finish. It's one about the fucking marketability and
He's marketable though. Finishes. Tank's the most marketable thing you can do in boxing.
Yeah, but
it's more marketable than Tank.
But it's gotta be opponents matter because even hardcore black fans, right? Because listen, let me finish. Let me just finish. I'll make it quick. I'll make it real quick.
Let Jimmy talk. Let Jimmy talk. Yo, let Jimmy go. Goddamn.
I'll make it real quick. I promise. Even Leonard Ellerby says we're not even targeting hardcore boxing fans. Then he said on an interview himself, Davis, I've never even asked about fighting the other champions. This is their thing. You're targeting them to a certain demographic, the people, and they got a couple of markets they can do well. I think he's pretty much at its limits, unless he starts fighting brand names, because then it's another whole group of people add to it. Now let me finish. I just want to say about Haney. I think he has the weakest unification run of all the unification runs right now in the 4-belt era. Yes. Do I think he is an he doesn't have skill set. No, I think he's got natural skill sets. My thing is his chin. I think it psychologically affects the way he fights. I think he questions his chin. But he has got a beautiful jab. He understands space. He has a good ring IQ where he can take limited people and keep them on the outside of his jab. He is a talented boxer, and he wouldn't have been able to go into Mayweather's gym and do some of those 26-round fucking fights against hardened gym rats the way he did. I've seen the videos. The kid's got talent. I'm not going to cut him up.
Against Shakur.
That's all I'm going to say. And I'm not saying he's an exciting fighter, guys, but I'm done. Sorry.
You know your boxing, Jimmy.
Wait. What I was saying about the Tank thing was that kind of actually proved my point, is that he's not even fighting huge names. Like his the Romero fight, probably sold more than Ryan's last fight.
Well, Tank is the only guy that can get away with doing shit like that. But if he fights a Ryan Garcia, his star will go way, way higher than most of the
shit. Tank's last fight was pretty big. A lot of people were watching it.
Well,
he's the only lightweight.
We gotta wait and see because Ryan hasn't been that active, but he's gonna be fighting in next month. No, in 2 weeks, I think. Or when?
Answer this question: who's the only light fighter in the world who's a pay-per-view fighter?
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Who's the only fighter below 147 that's a pay-per-view fighter?
None of them.
Legitimately, right now. I mean, I can't say because the PBC doesn't release their numbers. I'm not going to go into a whole spiel on that. But I think, yes, right now, because listen, I said that in the beginning. The reason why I was so high on him when he fought Pedraza, dude, explosive. Gallon neck. He might have made a little Mike Tyson. He was mean. And he looked to put people away. And so, yes, I do agree. If he was to start fighting the fucking big names, the sky's the limit for the kid.
Hey, can I say something about the star thing? Because I wanted to say that earlier. Just because you beat the star doesn't mean you become the star. Now, it doesn't hurt your profile. It's not going to make it lower. It's actually going to raise your what they call the Q rating. But you're not going to become the star, especially depending on how you fight. Case in point, historical examples, fucking Naoya, and when he fought Shane Mosley, Naoya was the A side. He was the mainstream star. He brought superstars and actors to his fights. Mosley beat him. His next fight, I think, was against an Australian guy, Taylor or something. I forget. No, sorry, it was against Antonio Diaz, I think. Didn't do all that well at the gate, and he was on regular HBO. He beats Naoya again in 2003. 3 years later, again, doesn't really become. He went on Jay Leno, I think. They got him that gig, and it improved his Q rating, but not that by much. Antonio Tarver, he knocks out Roy Jones, who was never that big a mainstream star. He goes on Jay Leno too, blah blah blah. He gets a role in Rocky Balboa. But his career never really exploded. So just because you beat the ace,
that's a good point.
Excellent point.
Perfect.
Those are fringe guys, though. Tank is not a fringe guy.
Listen. Referee keeps saying that if these guys like Haney, he beats Ryan Garcia or he beats Tank, he'll be a star. Bro, he's fucking boring as fuck. Yeah, you might get some fans and all, but you can't get all the fans of Ryan or Davis because those guys get knockouts. They're exciting. They're putting power down. Most people won't answer to Devin.
That's why they got more upside also. That's why they also got more upside.
Well, then his only choice is to become a villain.
Like Floyd, but the thing is, Floyd wasn't just a villain thing. Is that the undefeated record that helped?
Floyd was actually exciting in the beginning of his career. Do people forget that?
No. Listen, when we talk about Floyd being boring, it's the one for
money.
It's
talking about Money Mayweather, not Pretty Boy Floyd.
Actually disrespectful to compare these fighters to Floyd.
Yeah, bro, I'm saying
because who mentioned Floyd? Mayweather was never. Listen, when he was a Pretty Boy at 130, 135, 140, briefly at 140, he wasn't a big star either. It took him 10 years. It took him 10 years to get the Naoya fight, and that's when he began. But when I remember when he fought Victoriano Sosa in Miami. I think 3,000 people showed up. Like this myth that he was always a star.
It's HBO championship. I don't know. You forgot the Gatti fight though.
The Gatti fight was the emergence. That was starting of the emergence, but he did not reach.
Yeah, but definitely the Naoya was the next level.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
that's
Floyd relied on superstar opponents to get into the limelight.
Man, and Hispanics, Mexicans, Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, and Oh, he was locked up. People forget about. People said, why wasn't Andre Ward able to pull off Floyd Mayweather type of thing? He didn't have the opponents. Like Floyd
Exactly.
yeah.
But that's what I say about Devin Haney. He has the opponents: Teofimo, Ryan Garcia, Tank, fucking Shakur Stevenson. He has the
But those guys
potential
are well
opponents.
known though. But other than like let's say Tank Davis, who can do a good gate, pay-per-view numbers to be determined. We don't really know. At the gate, he's doing well. Go ahead.
Well, they can still build these guys up.
BDA, can I just say something? I think Floyd Mayweather should have been fucking shot for wearing
Oh,
the
here we go.
Mexican.
Exactly.
No, can I just finish? He should have
What the
been
fuck?
shot for fucking wearing the Mexican colors into the ring, taking the piss
Well,
like
you're
that.
panning to the right
Should have
crowd.
He wasn't doing that because he
being
was trying to be
serious.
Mexican, you fucking moron. It was a
They
tunnel.
should have hung him
About a
in a
fucking
nutsack
bullet
in
in the
Mexico.
fucking head. That's what he should have fucking had.
Well,
They should have played
Bullet
soccer
in the
with his
what
fucking
should
full-headed
happen is
head.
they should have beat him, and that would have been better.
Hey, since we're talking
It
about
was a
since we're talking,
But they robbed him.
Do you remember when Bernard Hopkins did the same thing to Trinidad and disrespected Thingamajig, Puerto Rico? He had to run. So that's
Yeah,
they were
they
gonna
were
get
about to kill him.
he was gonna
fucking
die.
bullet to the head.
That
That's
is
the
true.
solution.
They both are doing that.
since we're talking about Afro-American fighters, how about that heavyweight? What's his name? The Miller. He's
Baby Miller.
Big baby.
Big baby.
Big baby.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
the
a
one
heavyweight.
that's taking more drugs than the GNC store,
Well,
right? That guy.
He called himself a
Still
real
a
baby.
fat.
Not that one. Not
He's
that
still a
one.
fat piece of shit.
The top rank.
No, the good one, the good one.
The one that dresses.
Anderson, baby Anderson.
Anderson, thank you, Gonzalo. Yes. What about him? If he's a heavyweight, if he starts knocking people out, people love the mainstream wants an American heavyweight. Could he fit the bill based on how he fights, or
If Top Rank decides to have him and Fury as like a passing the torch type of situation because they did spar, they know each other, then yeah, he could become a star.
Yeah, Anderson got a
Yeah,
good chance, man, because he got a good attitude. People really like Anderson, bro. If you see who he is,
Yeah.
the person,
And he's
the guy
exciting.
is really likable. He's not like that LDBC weird shit. He's a real cool person, bro. Like he'll get big in America, bro. He'll get big.
Yeah, people over here, we really love the heavyweights too. So I mean, well, people everywhere, really.
Who are you on about? Which
Heavyweights.
heavyweight? Which one?
Jared Anderson.
I mean, he's not active enough though. This guy should be especially young fucking heavyweight. You should be fucking, especially when you get an early win, 2-3 rounds. You should be straight in there next month. Come on,
Yeah.
you didn't get
Tyson was fighting
knocked
3 to
your
4
opponent
times
down.
a fucking year.
He should fight Philip Hergovich. That's the fight I want to see.
You know, you haven't been touched. You knocked your guy down in the second round. You need to be in next month at the very least. Wait 8 months. What the fuck is this?
One foot in, one foot out.
Get
It's
him in there
modern
straight
boxing,
away.
man.
You didn't get touched. You good to go again.
Hold on, man.
Come on.
Maybe he got injured in the gym though. There's things we don't know.
Roll in.
Keep rolling.
Keep it rolling. lad. What's this? What are you doing?
You know, sometimes it goes down. A lot of times it's who you sign to, because I believe in my heart. If his chin, if Boots Ennis's chin matches everything else, we just don't know yet. We're gonna find out. But if it does, and if he was with Top Rank or Eddie, people willing to match the guy's tough, he could be a superstar because he does have stopping power and he does look to put people out. Like that guy he just knocked out the last fight. That guy had never been stopped before. Boots' power is for real. Again,
That guy had never even lost before, I don't think, right?
Yeah, never lost, and he was a tough kid. Like, he was known in the gyms as a tough dude.
He needs to fight top names. They need to move him up, but it usually doesn't happen though. That's the problem.
What do you guys think of
He's kind of on an island by himself because he's this one thing. Shot Gary Shaw with Showtime. It's kind of, but at the same token, if he's fighting under Showtime, he kind of has to fight PBC guys. But Al Haymon's not going to put a priority on him because he's not one of his guys. So he's kind of
who's Brandon Lee with?
Booth's team came out and said
Brandon Lee's with Showtime.
they can fight on any side. That's why.
Sorry, what's that, brother?
Just don't put Anderson anywhere near Joyce, because Joyce will absolutely walk all over him. You'll pile drive him.
Not right now.
Don't put him anywhere near him, or even Dubois or anything. I mean, the guy. Jared Anderson basically needs a chin check. No, seriously, he needs basically the chin check. He looks exciting.
Actually,
his shoulders
that's
roll.
the fight I want to see. Actually, is Dubois versus
Anybody can get knocked out.
6'3", old school.
That'd be real solid.
What I like about Anderson, he's not too muscly. He's your typical 6'3" physique. He's got a bit of fat on him, which you kind of need. in the reservoir.
You're 100% right.
And he's good, but he needs the chin check, and he's nowhere near ready for Dubois or Joe Joyce's or anything like that. Please,
Dubois,
just give him
man.
5 more
Wait,
fights.
who is Dubois beating? How is he not ready for Dubois?
Dubois.
No, but Dubois has done more, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know he's saying, but
Yeah, because he's been around longer.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been around longer.
What do you guys think of the kid at 168 there? The kid who's got like 12 fights.
Morrell?
Begins with an M. His last Morrell, yeah.
He's got 8 fights. He's got something like 8 fights.
We'll see.
7 or 8
He's
fights.
green, man.
He's got 7
talented as they come.
He has a lot of potential.
It may lead to
I'm more
Devin
interested
Haney.
in a Brandon Lee.
I'm more interested in Brandon Lee.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, you don't jump on that bandwagon. I like Brandon, but he's a very limited fighter.
Wait. Why are you going to say he's a limited fighter?
I think we're talking about Morrell. Now we're talking
because
about
his last fight, he couldn't close the ring.
Oh, one fight and he can't close the ring. He's done it every other fight.
Yeah,
He seems to knock
if
everyone
you
out.
get a guy in there that comes towards him, he looks great. But if you get a guy that's on his back foot or
He's way
knows how
too
to box a
young for
little
you
bit.
to be saying anything like that.
Bitches,
He's way
there
too
you go.
young for you to be
Can
saying
I tell you,
anything.
I got kind of a scary feeling because he's with the PBC, with this kid Brendan Lee. I think it might be something along the lines of Munguia, like fighting. He'll have like 40 fights before he steps up to like. Is it a 50
I hope
fight?
he leaves the PBC. I hope he leaves the PBC.
He's not with
smart
the
kid.
PBC. He's not with the PBC. He's signed
He's
to the
with
same
Showtime.
promotional deal
He's
as
with
Deron
Showtime.
Anderson. Yeah, him
Yeah,
and Deron
okay.
Anderson are the same promoter. They're
But
both
you know what
under,
I'm saying? Like he fights under the Showtime, which means he has to fight
He's
other
friendly
PBC
with
guys.
PBC. Showtime is friendly with PBC. That's the only people that match him up with.
I'm put it this way. I'm sure Al says if you take him over to fucking DAZN or you take him onto Top Break, he don't look towards
What
us
weight
anymore.
is he? I'm forgetting what weight he is.
140. I think he's 140. Yeah.
Yep.
His power's for real. The kid definitely punches. You can tell his power's for real. But again, the problem is, man, fighting is limited. A couple of times a year, not enough. He needs to fight more often, and they got to start turning up the heat a little because it's going to stagnate.
PBC for you, bro. That's the PBC for you.
Yes, he is a full-time student too, right? You're right. He's a full-time student too.
That's a red flag.
Can that really work out? Can you be a full-time student and like an elite boxer at the same time?
Well, Dana Rosenblatt, Jewish kid from Medford, was a pro. He did he go on to become a doctor? I forget. But
He got knocked out by Vinny.
but he got up to that level while he was in college. He was one of. I'm just trying to think of somebody who was in college fighting up at that level. That's all. I'm not saying he was great or nothing.
What I'm saying is you gotta have your foot your both feet in or not at all, man. Because a lot of these guys, if they
halfway gangster, right?
I agree, but hey, he's an enjoyable fighter. I agree, but he's fun to watch, man.
Yeah, but
yes, he is.
Can I just follow up, Jimmy? You mentioned an interesting fighter, Morrell. Like he's showing like all the skills, a lot of potential, and he's getting a lot of hype behind him at the moment. He's definitely one of the guys to look out for. But remains to be seen. He needs to have a few more fights. But
people want him in there with David Benavidez already. That's crazy to me. He's got 12 fights.
He's literally got 7 or 8 fights. That's it. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't think he's ready for Benavidez. That'd be crazy for him.
No, what I'm saying
is, by the way, we're agreeing a little bit too much here. We're agreeing a little bit too much here. Let's kick it up a notch. If we're talking about Canelo. If we're talking, I was going to get to it. Who can be a big star? Can David Benavidez be a big star if he keeps pricing himself out?
Yeah,
he is a Benavidez expert. Let me speak for a second. So he has, in my opinion, all the fucking attributes to be a big star. Firstly, to me, the number one attribute: are you an exciting fighter? Yes, yes. He fucking comes to fucking beat down every fight to KO. He speaks English. That's another attribute right there. He's actually like a nice fucking kid. He speaks well. He has a good sort of presentable personality. And like he puts guys to sleep. Obviously, so
he's Mexican.
Yeah, sorry, Mexican, Ecuadorian. So a huge fan base, American. So if you're going to tick all the boxes of superstar boxers. to me personally, like he pretty much ticks them all, and he is still underrated in my opinion. He still has not emerged as sort of like a big superstar, but he's in the background. He can make the huge step very soon, in my opinion.
If he could stay at 168, yes. At 175, I don't know, man.
Well, you need to fight the right guys. That's why.
See, nobody over the PBC wants to fight him. None of the top, none of the big guys over there want anything to do with them. That's the problem.
Yeah, you need them.
Well, they're all still healing from their Canelo ass whoopings.
The best thing Benavidez has going for him is his size at 168. He's the biggest 168 pounder there is.
Yeah, he's a tall motherfucker.
But who has quicker hands, him or Bivol?
What's that?
He has faster hands.
Benavidez.
I only hear hands.
Benavidez has the fastest hands above welterweight.
Hey guys,
That's crazy.
But the question was, can he be a big star?
Yeah.
Yes.
Quick thing, guys.
The answer is yes.
Guys, just
No,
quick
what
thing,
I'm saying is,
But you need a breakout opponent. He needs a Charlo or a Canelo. If you laser beat down on one of those guys,
he's not gonna beat them.
He's right there. But if he could do that, that would be the platform that he needs. Beating up.
You're gonna have to drag Charlo into the ring with Benavidez, like physically.
Yeah,
no way, Charlo.
You're gonna have to drug him and drag him into the ring.
We're gonna have to Canelo.
Let Shiro go because I think let Shiro speak because I think he's got a.
Yeah, just a quick thing, guys. Yeah, guys, I'm going to shoot off, man. It's been a great night, and I'll catch you guys later. Jimmy, BDA, Buccio, Furioso, and the rest of you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good night, man.
Hey, see ya.
Also,
have a good one.
Is Benavidez having trouble making 168? Is that what I heard?
No, I'm just saying he's a really big. No. He's just a really big guy. If he can stay at 168, that powered best. Good to hit for him, but I don't see it, dude. He's too big.
Let me say something. I don't like the biased bullshit when it comes to this shit. When it comes to David Benavidez, you guys love to kiss ass and be biased about Earl's too big. These guys are huge when they make weight. We all know
Benavidez already lost his belt to weight.
Hold on, can I respond to that? Hold on. Can I respond to that? Hey, bro, logical man.
Let me finish what I was saying. David Benavidez missed weight twice and lose his fucking belt. But you whole ass, bias ass Mexican motherfucker.
I'm not holding that against him. I'm saying that's a quality, bro. That's a talent, bro.
Logical man.
I'm agreeing with you, logical man.
Stop it.
I'm agreeing with you, bro.
You MDBC 2.0 motherfuckers.
I agree with you, bro. I don't know why this guy is saying that. I'm like agreeing with him. I think being able to be big in a weight division, that's a talent, bro. Good for David Benavidez. You think I'm trying to say he's a weight bully?
When they black, it's called weight bullying. When a motherfucker Mexican or whatever the fuck, oh well, he made weight. Eat a dick.
And he's only.
Hey, logical. You're tripping, dude. Hey, you're tripping, bro. I don't
dogs. We don't beat him.
Keep it real.
You're tripping, bro. That's a talent, bro. I look up to that. If you can make weight, that's obviously David Benavidez is pretty like on his shit. If he can make 168 and be that big, so that's good on him. Good on him.
You know we all right. Then so when motherfuckers talk shit about shit, oh, your kid's a big kid, man.
I didn't. Hey, bro, don't yell at me. Don't call me that.
I mean, he does got big teeth. You gotta admit that.
I did, and I'm still gonna call him because it is what it is. Nobody gets a fucking pass.
Yeah, David Benavidez is a fucking weight bully too.
Well,
you see that with
once you start missing weight, you can say you're getting too big for that.
Can I tell you what's going on with David Benavidez in a way too? What's tricky for him? He could be doing everything right. You guys got to remember when he was 13 through 16, he was up to 300 pounds. So he clearly has. Right, so yeah, exactly. So he clearly has that gene, like a endomorph gene in him, right? So he could literally have a plate of pasta, one plate too soon, and have a fucking carb reaction and blow up 3 pounds the day before a weigh-in. So I don't know if it was laziness, but I'm sure it's something he's going to always have to fight. Like, you're never going to see him super cut up. That's just not his body type. So because he looks a little loose, people attribute like missing that weight that time that it was him being lazy and didn't take it serious. I don't think that's the case because he was coming off as a fat kid, not like he was a fucking mesomorph, jacked kid, always has a six-pack his whole life. When those dudes miss weight, they're just being lazy because they out clubbing too much.
I don't think Errol Spence is a weight bully. Whoever said I thought Errol Spence was a weight bully is completely off.
I don't use weight bully because my thing is if you make the weight, you make the weight.
Yeah,
exactly. That's good.
Yeah,
It's
for yourself in the long run.
That's
Can
been
you
the
guys
game.
remember?
You
If you guys
go
remember,
down as far as
it
you
was.
can go.
If you
That
guys
Gonzalez?
remember, it was. Yeah, if you guys
What's up,
remember, it was
Element?
during the. If you guys remember, it was during the. If you guys remember, it was during the. You guys remember, it was during the COVID when a lot of guys were fighting above their weight, even though they were champions. They were fighting at a catch weight, a few pounds over. And he went in there, and they didn't provide him the treadmill or the equipment that he needed in that bubble space. So that's one of the excuses. I want to say this excuse, but then again, it's a reason that I can give. That's what they said why they couldn't make weight. After
Yeah,
that,
and it's completely logical. Yeah, he didn't have access to the spas, etc. And people make it such. He's missed weight once. So many fighters have fucking missed weight once. Canelo missed weight. Canelo missed weight. They had to change the stipulated weight like the day before because he accepted I can make weight. I think Floyd, from memory, may have missed weight. Like, it's not something unprecedented. So they're making such a big deal.
I don't think Floyd
because
ever missed
Benavidez, shut up, missed weight during COVID restrictions, and it was COVID restrictions. That's a fact. COVID restrictions were a fact. So they're exaggerating. At the end of the day, he's a fucking dad. He has a dad bod. He doesn't have muscles. He's skinny, fat. So I think he can make weight for quite a while.
Well,
So,
he could be. Remember, he could have a 6-pack. He could have a 6-pack under that belly. It's just you don't lose that couple of fucking. You know what I mean? He'll just have a hard time always losing. That's just there. A lot of it's loose skin. It's loose skin. Yeah, and he's got loose skin from being a heavy kid.
Boom, boom! Don't let people talk to you like that, man. Come on, you got to step it up a little bit here.
No, I mean that's perfectly fine. It's Fridays.
Yeah.
Hey,
he's not sensitive. He's not sensitive. That's cool.
It's Friday night.
Hey,
Get that Max guy
party's
here, bro.
Who's talking about welfare and dog fighting? Stick to boxing, man. That's why a lot of people with different opinions don't want to come over here. Because
Don't bring that full shit to me.
You cannot be bitching about LGBT not coming over here or keeping it real when you got motherfuckers like Rex is cooling sometimes and shit, but the shit getting played out with that welfare shit. When I can show up,
what the fuck are you talking about?
I can give you statistics on your people you ain't gonna fucking like. So just keep this shit on boxing, bro. You motherfuckers show other races of black folks.
What do you mean people?
That come over here and go straight to the welfare office.
I think I missed that. I didn't hear any of that shit.
Yeah, I don't know who said that.
I don't know. But I'll tell you what I wanted to say. Yeah, because I didn't hear that. But I'll tell you what I wanted to say. When it comes to the weight bullying thing, I disagree with weight bullying. I'm not for it. I think guys can get seriously hurt. And this is coming from a guy that wants to see people getting seriously hurt. I'm all for it. We got underrated. We got the underrated, overrated category. Put almost every top level referee in the overrated. These motherfuckers stop the fight so quickly, and it's also the commission's problem because they don't want to get sued since that New York incident about 7-8 years
BDA.
ago. Hold on.
BDA.
I want to see. Hold on, man, please. I want to see knockouts. But with weight bullying, let's not forget Arturo Gatti Gamachi. Remember, okay, yeah, you make the weight. But then if you show up 20 pounds above the other dude, you're gonna seriously hurt him. Look at Arturo Gamachi. He
that's why they put,
like I said,
rehydration clauses. There's always a lot of times they have rehydration clauses.
BDA, do you think Canelo was a weight bully? Do you think Canelo was a weight bully, BDA? BDA, do you think Canelo was a weight bully when he was doing catch weights for middleweight?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Here we go.
Even though Logical Man just said I was racist for calling David
It's just boxing. They gotta weigh him the day of.
What about me?
Yeah. They changed it to the day before, so it's boxing's problem.
Remember, they did that. They did that to save boxers' lives. They thought it would actually, and now it's ended up happening. People are trying to skate the line so tight that they put their bodies like people would never weight train themselves to the degree they do now if it was the same day weigh-in, because the only time you rehydrate and grow is when you sleep. So when you have the weigh-in the same day, you can't do what these guys are doing. So literally they're making themselves sometimes on the brinks of death to make these weights and then carb up overnight. But I would never fight anybody without a fucking rehydration clause, especially if I was fighting somebody. Yeah, if I was fighting somebody who could gain 20 pounds, I would myself.
Take out the water weight.
Yeah,
that's what happened to Teofimo, and then Virgil just got busted because he was taking something because that's why he got what he got, because he was going to kill himself to make weight.
Hell yeah.
So, do you guys want to talk about Canelo for a second?
Oh man, here we go. Okay, go ahead.
I've just been reading chat. Hang on. Yeah, no, this is going to be educational.
Mirage. Let me just read a super chat before you go off on the fucking Canelo. Winning Football says Floyd a weight bully. He missed weight versus Marquez.
Yes,
that's right. He didn't respect the contract. Well,
so where's the dude that said he did it? No, he didn't. We know who they are who say that shit. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, who are the top five? Who are the top 5 weight bullies in the last 10 years?
Hang on.
Mirage wants to shit on Canelo. Let Mirage go. Mirage, go ahead.
Firstly, I just want to. We're reading chat. I've been accused of being a casual boxing fan, so that's a bit of an insult. Let me just defend myself quickly. You have somebody like Max Kellerman. He could list A to Z like every fighter in every division, but he doesn't know fighting to save his life. He can't pick a fight correctly in like 10 years.
I agree. We get the point, but he would never say something like I just look at the guy's record. He would never say something like you said. That's the point.
Okay, I just want to make the point.
So
ridiculous.
A weight bully?
Okay, let's to Canelo. I don't know. A lot of people notice. Like we were talking about overrated fighters. Now Canelo reached pretty much pound for pound number 1, generally regarded best fighter in the world. Yet people almost seem to forget at 154 he wasn't the best fighter in the division. Floyd boxed his ears off. At 160, Triple G, widely believed to have beaten him twice. Generously, it could have gone either way. He was never regarded even clearly at the best at 160. At 168, even if he won all the belts, he never fought Benavidez, who is regarded as like one of the top guy. So
that's an excellent point.
He never beat the widely regarded top guy 168.
Let me just. First of all, you started off on the wrong. Mirage, we get it. Hold on. Don't make it too long, Mirage.
He was never the best fighter in any division.
Okay, we get it. Mirage, we get the point. We get the point. He was never the best.
That's a serious point.
Whatever. Okay. At 154, when he beat Lara, he was the best 154 pounder. Floyd left the division, I believe, at that time.
Yep.
So what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Well, Mirage, okay, man, you're full of shit. I just fucking exposed your little 154 thing.
So he came back and he beat him. That means he was no longer.
You don't say that versus man.
When Floyd retired, Canelo was the best, and I believe he was even lineal at 154.
Well, he fought drunk.
Can I say something about that? I don't even, in regards to the Golovkin fight, according to your logic, we don't even need to see them. Just the record shows Canelo drew
exactly.
the second.
Like
so.
we think.
Okay, now you're being bad faith. I'm trying to have
it's your logic.
So that's your logic. So you
what you call logic? I don't know what it is.
You're not being logical.
It's his bad faith logic.
So the greater point, he was never clearly the best fighter in any division.
Now it's clearly.
You forgot to add clearly.
Clearly.
Yet he was apparently
the top. His record shows
very subjective. It's very subjective. Clearly. Like, now you add that piece of shit. So how can we define
it? Allegedly beat him.
Allegedly, clearly beat him.
Okay, hang on. Let me respond to that.
Is this the guy that
I never said
Haney? Are you the one that was defending Haney? Is this how it started?
Hey,
okay.
I never said
you're defending Haney with the 4 belts, but you're trying to dismiss Canelo's. So let's make that make sense.
Let me just
Haney didn't fight Lomachenko.
I never made the argument that
Haney's a scared little bitch.
Can we still talk about fucking Haney? Nobody gives a fuck about Devin Haney. He's boring as fuck. Now let me respond. I've never made the argument.
Whether people like Canelo or not, he's the undisputed 4-belt Ring Magazine lineal champ at 168 right now.
But did he clearly win those fights?
Let me finish.
Jimmy. Did he clearly beat those guys? Did he clear? Like
yes, he did.
He
clearly beat them.
And all this.
Is he the best in the division? Clearly. Is he the best in the division?
But it doesn't.
my God.
He's the lineal. What you add is achievement, not opinion. I'm going by achievement right now, and accurate. Achievements like something you can touch. He's the lineal.
Yeah.
Ring Magazine undisputed champion at 168, and at 154 when Floyd retired, he was the man there too for a little bit before he bounced 160.
Those labels are deceptive. That's my point. You can be a champion without being the best fighter, even close to the best fighter in a division. That's my point.
And Mirage. How come Ring Magazine doesn't give? How come Ring Magazine doesn't give? Well, the committee doesn't give him the lineal championship and doesn't give, because that's just voted. You know what I mean? Like the lineal's given to the guys. Like a bunch of different people say who deserves it in the division. They don't actually fight for that. What I'm saying right now is, when he gets a belt again, why don't they just? You don't actually even have a belt to be a lineal. You can be a lineal and not even have the belt. And so why don't they give why don't they give Benavidez the lineal? Because right now Canelo's the best at 168. And if they were to fight tomorrow, Canelo would be the favorite, Vegas odds right now. If they were to be,
isn't Benavidez actually the lineal? Benavidez is the lineal WBC. He beat the champion. Back
but he's not the lineal champion. He's WBO. I'm sorry, Gonzalo. Go.
But he just got that. You're ending your narrative by you're saying that Benavidez is the man when he fought the 4 guys that he beat to become undisputed. Benavidez didn't even have a belt. He was not even really on the radar until everybody started mentioning.
Well, he lost it on the scales. He lost it on the scales.
He lost it. And you go back to 54, Austin Trout, he beat Miguel Cotto. So he was the man.
Oh, yeah.
And 60, he fought GGG twice when everybody was ducking him. Facts. So really, Canelo has fought the fighter.
He got Triple G for a very long time, man.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
But he still fought him. But he still fought him. I mean,
but he never clearly beat him. He never clearly beat him.
He never clearly beat him. Like, look at the record.
No. Yeah. But I got you. But you're not gonna put Triple G above Canelo right now, are you?
No,
BDA.
Purely on the age. Purely on the age.
BDA. Mirage, say who he's supporting. Because all he's doing is trashing. But who do you support? I mean, I'll say who I don't like, but I'm going to support somebody. So who are you trying to support?
Why do we need to support? Why is this argument? Why do you keep
bringing up Benavidez?
Whoever I support is irrelevant to the argument.
Everyone's scared of him, that's why.
It's a fact. He was never the best in any division.
I agree with Mirage. Who he likes is irrelevant because he only watches boxing every 5 years, so it's gonna be very murky. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is this. Look, all I have to do is use Mirage's logic. Look at the record. All undefeated guys he fought. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
you don't need to look at the
record.
You need
There's no need for any context. There's no need for any context. No context is needed.
Why do we need to talk about how he clearly won or did?
Yeah, clearly, unclearly, whatever. It doesn't matter. Look at the record.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yes. Let me explain it like this. It's a big mistake, man.
I like to know what I'm talking about.
Mirage, they kind of got you on that one,
yeah,
kid.
Pretty bad. No, it's a fatality. Where's my fatality?
I can easily respond. If I give it a chance, I can respond to that. Never did I make the case that the reason you made is be all end all, but it's not essentially like put it this way. When you have say if you have like 20 losses, for example, that can basically outweigh everything else. But if it's sort of close,
explain to you why not. We explain to you why not. We explain to you why not. We explain to you why not. Jesus Christ!
If it's close, then you need to like go into the details. But when it's overwhelmingly clear, then you can just sort of refer to the resume.
Your boy Charlo's a bum.
It's not black and white. I'm not saying it's black and white. I'm not saying it's black and white.
Let me say something about that.
You talk about record when Benavidez' best win is a 170.
Your boy is ducking.
But you understand my point?
Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the numbers then. If the numbers are overwhelming and all that, 3 undefeated guys at 168. Add those wins together, overwhelming, like you said, overwhelming numbers. So there you go.
That's not overwhelming.
That's all we gotta look at the numbers, man. And you see that.
Let me say this.
We know in boxing, undefeated. we know in boxing, undefeated these days doesn't mean a whole fucking deal because we know fighters obviously dodge. To me, that is still that
You
is
just
not black and
disproved your
white.
own argument.
But
Yeah, exactly. He just said now the zero don't mean nothing.
Why are you
but
scared?
The 12 losses means you're a bum, dude. You're trying that.
Mirage,
man.
you're trapped, man. You're trapped in your own. You trapped yourself in your own bullshit, man. You trapped yourself in your own bullshit, man.
Are you comparing
it's
fucking
embarrassing.
12 losses?
By your own logic, we can't respect guys with losses. So then you have to have. Then the zero has to mean everything to you. You are just contradicting
It
yourself.
depends. Hey, it depends how many losses. 1 or 2 losses. You have an argument. 1 or 2 losses.
No, your argument is if you're not undefeated, you're a bum. That's your
When you
argument.
have 10 or 20 losses,
this is a
they
casual.
overwhelm everything else. This is clear and apparent.
Kangaroo court.
But then your own logic is a guy with 0 losses is the best ever. As long as you got a 0, you must be great. You said the average person.
Can I say
I'm
something?
saying, hang on. I'm saying
Gonzalo. Hey, Gonzalo, your volume's down low, brother. Gonzalo's trying to say something, but his volume's down low, guys.
Mirage, you try to Mirage. You try to say there was a criteria, and your criteria was, oh, the losses means he's an average fighter because he lost a lot. That was your criteria. Those were your own words.
Yes.
And you're wrong.
Are you equating? Hang on. Are you equating 20 losses to zero?
No, you explained it. Having a criteria. You said that was your criteria.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you did.
But it's 20 losses. But it's 20
based on your
losses.
premise. That's your criteria.
Yeah, but now he's guys.
Oh, you can lift this down, Mirage.
Hold on.
We can't respond.
Hold on. No. Gonzalo wants to say something. Gonzalo.
Okay, Orlando Salido. Did you know that he lost 7 out of his first 15 fights? He lost 8 of his first 8. After that, he went on a win, and he only lost to elite fighters like Alejandro La Cobrita Gonzalez. He lost to Cristobal Rosas, which later he avenged. He drew with Rockets, then he lost. Then he lost to Mikey Garcia and fighters like that. So after losing the first 15 fights, he went on a fucking tear, and only then later did he lose against fucking elite fighters, and some of those he avenged. So the motherfucker was hell on wheels, dude.
We already went through this.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
The same thing happened to
He doesn't give a shit.
Sorry to interrupt.
Juan Manuel Marquez, they lost a lot of their first fights.
Yeah, I know.
Gonzalo, sorry to interrupt, but we already went through that before you showed up here. He doesn't care. So, but here's the thing. Gonzalo, you're absolutely on the money. But here's the thing: if overwhelming losses is bad, then let's take a look at overwhelming wins. Combine Callum Smith's records, Billy Joel's record, and Caleb Plant's record. How many fights is that? 80 wins total?
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with the record. We gotta go with the overwhelming numbers. He beat 3 undefeated.
BDA. When people judge boxing,
here's a number. Hey, let me give you one number: 73,640. That's that's the attendance record. Why do that many people turn out to one of his fights?
Hey, all of you guys know that losses are judged far more severely in boxing than wins. You all know this. So you're basically denying the most obvious thing.
Shut up, man. No, that's
everybody knows this.
No, that's not
true.
Everybody
accepts this.
Everybody says this.
It's what
everybody in Australia.
Yo, Mirage, can I ask you a question?
What do you think fighters care so much? What do you think fighters today care so much about protecting their O? If it's
you talking in circles, bro? Fucking MMA fan.
Okay, but we already established. Okay, so if we follow that logic, then If we follow that logic, then Canelo can't be overrated. Because look at all the undefeated guys he beat at 168. Case closed. That's your own logic right there. Losses are career enders. Therefore, defeating 3 undefeated guys in a row, stopping all of them, 2 of them, and beating the crap out of one for 12 rounds. There's no argument against him being right where he belongs.
No. Not at all. This just demonstrates. Look, I don't deny that the win wins are not as losses are more demonstratively negative. Losses are more demonstratively negative than wins are positive in boxing.
No,
you can win.
You should be Mirage. You should be. No, I want to say something. Mirage should become a. Hold on.
Can I just say something? Let me just say something.
All right, no. Mirage.
With a boomerang.
Hold on. Just one comment. I think Mirage. I think you should become. I think you should become a politician. Like seriously, I'm not even joking. Are you a member of parliament over there? Like you're pretty good at just debating everything, man.
Mirage, I think you should retire.
Hang on,
we already heard your argument that losses are bad. That's your argument. You're saying your losses are overwhelming.
You accept that.
Hold on.
Acknowledge the video.
Hold on. Let me finish. That's what you're saying. But you start off by saying that Canelo was overrated. But then by your logic, he beat a bunch of undefeated fighters. Undefeated fighters have no losses. So he's not overrated. He beat those guys.
But now he's saying no. Now he's saying that losses are judged more severely than wins and all that shit. I don't know. Like seriously, you're going
because there's so many fighters. Put it this way. There's a lot of fighters that are like a 20-0, 30-0, and they're not very good fighters. So beating them doesn't have as much value as you're putting to it. But if you lose, then that is a severe blow. That's my argument. And you guys know there's a lot of losses in boxing.
That he won.
There's a whole lot of bums in boxing with padded records. Beating them, that's my
argument is retarded. BDA. I know what he's trying to say. BDA. I'm going to defend Mirage here. I'm going to defend him. Let me defend Mirage.
As you should.
Let me defend quick. Okay. Does anybody follow college football?
No. I do.
Okay, well, if anybody remembers college football, never used to have a playoff, and you had a point system based on wins. The college you faced, you didn't get as many points for beating a team that was 0-12. But you could beat, but you didn't get credit because you were in a weaker division. So I see what you're trying to say. That's his argument.
Out of the thousands of,
but he's talking about bombs. Canelo beat champions.
Look, just think. There's thousands of boxers. Look, Derek Chisora and Gabriel Rosado still get TV dates. They get put on main events and co-mains, and they got like 12 to 15 fucking losses. Why? Because they're pretty good, no? Compared to the many thousands of fighters that exist.
Well, listen. Jimmy, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say there's nuances in losses, like there's nuances in everything in life. For instance, just somebody recently, Eric Lubin, he lost in a second round or first round, I forget, devastating KO against Chalo, right? And people were writing him off, and then he goes and puts in that fucking unbelievable gutsy performance against Fundora. His face was. I hope he comes back from it because I want to. He lost in that fight, and now I'm more excited to see him fight again than I ever was in the past. And that's coming off a loss because of the heart he showed in there against Fundora. He took big shots and refused to stop fighting. So you see what I'm saying? Like not all losses are equal, right? Everything in life has nuance.
And let me say something.
There's nuance in one or two losses. Lennox Lewis lost a couple of times. He got knocked out by mediocre fighters, but there was nuance. But when we're talking about 10 losses, 11, 12, the nuance diminishes. That's my fucking argument.
See, let me say something. Let me say something.
But then you have to look at But then you have to look at the performance and, like you're saying, the context, the nuance. How did Lomachenko lose to Salido? In only his second professional fight, it was a very close fight. He almost stopped Salido. Even the referee, Thunderdome interviewed the referee. The ref said he fucked up. He said he was ashamed of his performance because he let Salido get away with all that. Salido came in overweight, low blows, a lot of clinching. It wasn't a clean win. So there, by that logic,
there's no nuance there, and you judge Lomachenko based on that loss. Like you forget about everything else. You just focus on the focus. You focus on that loss. And that's it. You judged Lomachenko's career till this day based on that loss. It's ridiculous. It's a casual. It's embarrassing. I cannot believe we're giving Mirage this much time to talk about this. Seriously, it's embarrassing. The whole world is a consensus. Mirage likes to bring a consensus. But there's a consensus in boxing. The consensus is that Lomachenko is a great boxer. That's the consensus. Mirage, you're going against the consensus. You brought up the consensus earlier when you were talking about losses are judged more than wins, whatever. You're bringing some consensus. Well, I'm bringing you another consensus in the boxing community, which is Lomachenko's. He's a well-established, great boxer that achieved like an amazing thing when he won multiple titles in just a few fights. All right, so you're going against the consensus here.
Let me just
remember.
Even if we accept, I accept the loss was contentious, but when you're presenting this guy as a top pound for pound, an amazing like all-time great level fighter, he should not have contentious fights.
Yes, he can. That's your criteria. That's, Mirage, that's your criteria. That's your criteria. That's not to make it a fact. Just because Mirage... No. This is where you're wrong, Mirage. In your opinion, you should say that. Mirage, you can say whatever you want, but say in my opinion. Don't say you shouldn't have a loss. In my opinion, you shouldn't have a loss, and that's it. We leave it at that.
The problem here for me is that
standard we judge other fighters. He's not the same standard.
No,
run over these guys.
He managed to come back from that loss, Mirage. That's what you don't understand. He managed to come back from that loss.
He never lost. The two people who beat him, and the two people he beat wanted nothing to do with them again.
Exactly.
I concede.
You're holding
Lomachenko not top 10
to this fucking
he
loss.
lost again versus fucking Lopez.
Stop it.
He lost again versus Lopez.
Rod, you like to think, and you like to say things like this. The problem is when you present, it's not about the presentation. It's not about the present inside the package with the nice fucking bow. It's about the skills inside of the ring. It's not about how I can sell you. It's what you can do inside of a fucking square circle.
That's right.
Exactly.
What he did, the way he fought, the way he finishes up, the way he made those opponents quit, overshadow that fucking contentious loss. All right. Did you get it now? Do you get it? It's ridiculous. That's it. We end this conversation.
It's ridiculous.
I'm not judging.
It's ridiculous.
You're judging him on this.
Hold on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now, I don't gotta ask him shit. It's ridiculous to think that one loss to a guy who's the bulk of his losses, by the way, were like Gonzalo said. It seems like he's just forgetting this. He lost 20 times. You can't even tell me who he lost against. We already gave you the context, Gonzalo and myself. Yeah. He lost him when he was in his teens. That doesn't fucking count. He's a teenager fighting grown men in fucking cars. Hold on.
Can I ask you guys a question, BDA and Bucho?
That's bias.
That's bias. Wait, can I ask you guys a quick question?
Am I done? No, I'm not finished talking. Jeez, right. I mean, everybody just wants to talk.
After you're done.
Well, I mean, you already made me forget what I was about to say, for fuck's sakes.
Well, let me say something right quick.
He
was a teen fighting against grown men, but Lomachenko wasn't a grown man fighting against teens.
You're an idiot.
That's ass backwards.
We're getting into this problem. We always.
We went back. Rare has a question. I want to hear a question. I want to hear Rare. Hold on, Rex. Hold on. Rare.
The problem is.
So let's say
the problem is we got into the same problem we always get into here. Fucking open lines. It's everyone's always talking over each other.
All right, Mr. BDA. Let me take.
How about you guys?
Hold on, LDB's boom. Hold on, Rare. Go ahead. Ask your question.
Okay. So let's say Lomachenko was an American for a second.
Black or white?
Black, African American.
All right, I want to understand the question. Go ahead.
Okay, and he was coming off the Olympics, highly touted, had like the silver medal and a gold medal, whatever you want to call it. And let's say the LDBC liked him. Oh, the LDBC. Oh, this is the next great fighter. He's amazing. He's only lost 2 fights in the amateurs. If he lost to a Salido type of guy, would you guys, Bucho and BDA, would you guys be saying, oh well, that guy, he wasn't that bad actually?
We don't play that game. We're not the LDBC. That's it.
Yeah, we don't beat dogs.
That's it. It's simple.
Would you give him a pass for that?
Can I just say something? That's an awful argument because you're going into hypotheticals. If I mean Let's look at the facts. That's what we're doing here. We're not looking at your vision. We're not
I'm
looking
saying
at
I
your
don't think he would get the same
You're
level.
Rare Breed, you're implying that we're Rare Breed.
Hold
Hold on. Rare Breed is implying that we are like acting like the LDBC basically, which is a terrible argument. We are not the LDBC. We don't play that game, and it's an.
You guys are Mexican Americans.
It's
You guys are
disgusting
Mexican.
that you're implying. That we're, I am appalled.
No,
I am
no, I'm
shocked.
sorry, I forgot. Sorry, Mexican Canadian. Sorry.
Insulted. I feel insulted, Rare Breed. I feel insulted.
I feel. I
Can
think
the
we actually-
LDBC talk now?
You know what? I think we should ask.
You feel insulted.
No.
Canadians are Americans as well.
I think we
Can
should
the
ask.
LDBC talk?
I think we should. I think
That's
either
true.
Rare Breed. I think we should ask Rare Breed to leave. Nicely. Otherwise,
All right, let's hear Boom
Yeah,
Boom. Boom
please.
has been. Let's Boom Boom. Boom Boom. Go ahead. Boom Boom.
Oh
So, what I have to say is Canelo at 168 and Devin Haney at 135 are undisputed. That doesn't mean they're the best at that division. They're the man to beat. The best at that division, if you think you are better, you have to go through them. So I agree. Canelo is the man to beat at 168, but he isn't the best. Same with Devin Haney. That's all I have to say.
Best 168.
He's the best 168. Like
not the same.
He's the
Chill
best
out.
168, but yeah, that's pretty much.
No,
what
he's the man to beat.
He's not the best.
Well,
No, he's not the
okay.
best.
He's the
Boom,
best.
boom, boom. Let's ask Boom
Benavidez is
Boom.
the best.
Boom Boom. Who?
Callum Smith
Yes.
was the best, and he beat him point blank.
Callum Smith is a
No,
fucking
you
joke.
know,
Are you serious?
That's your opinion.
Here we go.
That's your opinion.
My problem though is with the belts because fuck. I mean, we're in a precarious situation in whether we accept the belts or we toss them aside because I was listening to other podcasts and when people talk about, well, how do you rate a fighter? You go, a lot of times they go, well, he beat this many amount of champions. But then, like say, for example, you look on paper, you look at Tank Davis, he's got a WBA belt, right? But it's not even a real WBA belt.
So Reggie.
Yeah.
Right. So then we get into that mess of how do we judge fighters? Now, I usually look at Ring Magazine and ESPN, the rankings, and I combine them and say, okay, the truth is somewhere down in the middle. I'm curious. What do you guys think about the titles? Do you guys use titles to gauge a fighter's worth?
No.
Of course.
No.
You have
To a
to.
very,
I look at
limited,
overall
very limited extent. Very, very limited.
No.
I know who they're from.
Name the best non-champion. Name the best non-champion.
From what I've seen,
Duran
most of the champions have won the titles from fucking they were vacant belts when they won the titles. So that seems to be a trend these days, which people ignore. They just think, oh, he's a champion, but it was a fucking vacant belt, and he fought some mediocre fighter to win a vacant world championship. So that is
Title defenses.
Yeah,
Like-
title defenses.
Like Stavern.
Yeah.
Teletubby. Yep.
Yep.
Well, can I tell? Well, this is. Can you guys even hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is. Well, right now, this is why I have, just because on top of the absolute demolition of dudes and his power and everything else, why I have Inoue as number one right now. I mean, just this readout, I'm going to read it. Somebody else's shit, but I'm going to read it. Inoue, Inoue had 23 bouts. Out of 23 bouts, 18 were world title fights, winning them all, 16 by knockout, which is insane. He won his first of 7 world titles in 3 divisions in just his 6th professional fight, and has also won the World Boxing Super Series in dominant fashion. I mean, his hardware he's holding up. That's all in like fucking a handful of fights. And then this one here, when he was 7-0, he fought 43-1-2 Omar Narez, the 2-division champ, had 16 successful title defenses at flyweight, another 11 at super flyweight. His only loss was a 12-round decision to an in his prime Nonito Donaire. He had never been off his feet. Inoue obliterated him in 2 rounds. This motherfucker
Hey, Jimmy,
is
can I say something?
nasty.
Like
Yes,
and
by all
like I
means.
was
Now,
saying
I'm gonna say
earlier-
something controversial. What if I say fighters above 135 and above are more dangerous than the ones below 135?
Oh,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
No.
What does that mean?
That
wrong.
means how much
Inoue
power
is
someone
one of the
can
most
output.
dangerous
Well,
boxers in the game.
okay, all right. So yeah, so then to your like going by what you just said, right? Think about that. Anyway, right, where you're saying like, well, obviously you don't usually have. It's usually between welterweight. My opinion. This is my opinion. Let me state that. I don't want to say like I'm talking for everybody. That's why I've always loved welterweight to middleweight, or actually junior mid. There wasn't even around when I was a kid, 168. But anyways, 47 to 60, because they're big enough to fucking hurt you and still small enough to bring in a lot of volume, and the skill matters. Where in heavyweight, a lot of times you'll see dudes like Tommy Morrison. He just had such a chin and power. He could do cocaine and not worry about his skills, and it of course robbed him. But that's what makes Inoue so deadly, is the fact that even at that weight, he's fucking 2 rounds like knocking motherfuckers out bad. Like that dude Neverez at the end in a title after in his interview. Go back and check it out. It's in Spanish. You got to get it. It changed in the fucking TV, but he said he's never ever experienced getting hit like that hard. He said when I used to spar with the guys like lightweights and junior welterweights, but they're not trying to put me out. He goes, it's like that. His power is uncanny.
But aren't those divisions quite thin though? The guys that he's knocking out. Do you mean?
No. He's beaten like fucking all these. Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah, that's what makes it even more impressive. Out of those guys he fought, right? Two of the knockouts were Ring Magazine guys. They were all top 5, like all the belts. So it wasn't just like, one obscure belt had him in their top 5. Like all these guys this dude beat, especially in the WBO tournament. That was the best of all of them. Usyk would probably be second, or maybe you could say Usyk, but as far as domination goes, it was Inoue in the World Boxing Super Series. And he had under 9 fights when he took those guys on. And these were all ex-world champions or champions at the time.
And Jimmy, you know what I hate the most? A lot of people talk about LDBC. Oh, we downplay Inoue or whatever it was, Inoue. The problem is, he doesn't have recognition because most of his fights are in Japan. But when you guys are putting him next to, some of these elites that we see in America, that's a different conversation. Like, we acknowledge he's great. I put him on my pound for pound list. But you can't compare him to Devin Haney, to Canelo, to Errol Spence and Crawford. Because why? He's an unknown right now. He has to come to America or...
But
listen, brother. Hey, no disrespect.
Haney right now.
No disrespect to this guy. No disrespect to like anybody. I'm just saying, the United States, we don't own this. Ain't our sport. Like, you know what I mean? We can't be charging motherfuckers rent. This is a worldwide sport. Like, I hate globalism politically, but sports, that's what it's all about. In Japan, there's not an American fighter who is as popular in the United States, actually even comes close to the popularity he has in Japan. So in his world, which is important to him and his people, he is the man. He's the biggest athlete in Japan right now. And I'm saying, but who are you talking about, dude?
Oh my God! Fulton go to Japan.
Do you realize how absurd you sound, dude?
Hey, hold up! I just wanted to
You should go to Canastota, Mirage, and grab the microphone for a minute and say, "Ain't nobody give a fuck about your division." Just see if you get out of there not too lumped out.
Earlier they asked,
are you saying
what A-level win does Devin Haney have? Can you name a A-level win by Mr. Inoue?
Yeah.
All
right. Jamie McDonald, let me finish. Jamie McDonald, WBA champ, ranked 2nd by ring. Carlos Pena, 5th by all of the fucking belts, including the fucking transitional board. WBC, WBA champion. And all right, let me finish. Emanuel Rodriguez, ranked 2nd by Ring Magazine, WBO champ. Nonito Donaire, WBC. These are just the last 6 fights. And he's demolished these motherfuckers in 2 rounds. None of those guys have ever been stopped before. So I'm saying, like, he's fighting levels of competition that nobody else is fighting, and he's demolishing them. Those are the facts. That's not true, dude. I just said it.
Yes, I agree. He is dominating his field, but we can't act like those guys he's beating are pound for pound level.
Listen, if they're ranked in their division, if they're Ring Magazine ranked,
division doesn't mean
exactly.
It's like when people look at Spence Jr., like they look at Spence Jr., Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. Yeah, everybody knows these names because they've been shoved down our throats for such a long time here in North America. But that doesn't mean that these other guys in the lower weight divisions are shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I'm surprised by Ray Bree saying that, dude, because I know you like boxing. Think about it, dude. What you're saying is, come on, dude. I I'm ignorant of those weight classes. How could you possibly put him above those guys? Come on, dude.
They're not commentators. They're not.
That's what he's saying. Too much what he's saying.
No, but like I'm saying, like even before, like usually in weight classes that are like actually tough, there's at least 2 or 3 guys who are considered like close to on the pound for pound list at least.
And Haney has fought those people. And Haney has fought.
No, I didn't say Haney has fought those people.
Hold on. But no, Nito Donaire was one of the top pound for pound fighters a few years back.
Yeah, like 5 years ago.
Oh my God! You
just said Inoue didn't compare to Haney. You said Inoue didn't compare to Haney.
No, I said.
What's a competitive? Rare mentioned competitive divisions. What's a competitive division, and how are you determining this?
147.
Yeah, exactly. Because 147 because it's all over the fucking TV, man.
I mean, everybody would agree.
Everybody would agree. You're like Mirage now. Everybody says it. Everybody says it. Okay.
But let's be real.
I mean, no, it's not. Not everybody says it.
Let's be honest. The boxing world has spoken. The boxing world said Inoue has to beat Fulton, and he's hands down the man.
No, you guys are crazy, man. Everybody said this.
He's Fulton. I'll shut up.
Everybody. Again with the everybody.
The people who don't know that division.
Oh, okay, you're right. Okay, that I agree with. Yes.
Can I say something?
Yes, BDA.
Yeah, okay. Well, listen, people are now saying that he has to beat Fulton to be pound for pound. Inoue is being pound for pound. Okay, good, because Inoue has been 3 years ago. He was already pound for pound. People, even some guys like Steve Kim had a number 1. Fulton, nobody knew who he was back then. So I don't know all of a sudden why he needs to beat. Listen, Fulton's got his plate full at 122. Either a rematch with Figueroa, who's going to be fighting December,
I agree.
or fighting like MJ. So I don't know why Inoue has to be. You know what it is though? It's because again, this just proves the point of how good he is. He cleaned out a bunch of divisions. 118 being, 118 being the most prominent. Emmanuel Rodriguez was going in there as this number 2 guy, and this guy takes him out in 2 rounds. And then Emmanuel Rodriguez got robbed against that Filipino dude that Donaire ended up beating. So it also.
This reminds me of when Lomachenko was beating everybody and he was at 135, and then people were saying he should move up to fight Crawford at 147. Remember that?
No, it's nothing like that. Come on,
and lose.
I don't remember anybody saying that. That's crazy.
I remember that. I remember
them saying
140 or 140, 140, 147. Like he had to move up to fight Crawford.
That's a big jump.
I remember it was 2018.
Sorry. It wasn't 147. It was 140, a catch weight, something like that.
Hold on. It was 2018 before the Linares fight. I remember people saying that. In fact, people made videos about it. Well, you know what? If he really is pound for pound, then he needs to move up to 140 to take on.
Yeah, 140, no 140.
They're casuals. Don't listen to them.
Well, this is what you guys sound like with Inoue. Fuck. What about you? I don't know. Somebody mentioned whoever.
He's the average casual at 118.
Well, LDBC.
Yeah, there's one guy.
You can be a casual at a different weight division.
There's one guy left at 118.
BDA, I need to say something.
I'm gonna have to mute that person who keeps screaming BDM because it's fucking annoying. All right,
because we need to stop this because what we're seeing here, these guys do the same thing. Okay, it's an Afrocentric view. There's Eurocentric views, there's Afrocentric views, and everything. Bring back to an Afrocentric view.
That's called bias.
You're lowering my credit score. We're talking about Inoue, and they want to bring it back to their Afrocentric view. Okay, that's just reality.
I think he's right about that.
I know the LDBC suddenly got really big up on fucking Fulton. He's only 4 pounds heavier than him.
They're talking about Inoue, and they want to bring it back to their Afrocentric view. Look, we can have our views. But we can't bring it back. That'd be me. Every time I talk about Lomachenko, Inoue, I'm just talking about them. Oh, but what about this guy? It's like, what are you talking about? We're just talking about one guy and his record and his status. Oh, but you can't say it without saying this guy. And who are they talking about?
I mean,
I'm right here. Let me respond.
I know.
I'll put it this way. We go back to the I'll say this. You can't do. We go back to the whole thing about either use read people's record and box rank, and that's all you go with, or you watch the actual fights. I'll give you an example. It's as if I watch nothing but blaxploitation movies, right? Let's say I only do that. I don't watch anything else, and I say, well, these are the best ones. And somebody tells you, well, what about this other movie? From fucking, I don't know, Latvia or whatever. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't care about that one. I mean, that's essentially what's going on here. A lot of people didn't listen. Let's face the facts. Boom, boom. You told me you didn't even watch Inoue's fights. So how we can stand here?
Do you watch Fulton fights?
So look, when I'm on these other channels and we're talking, this guy comes in and bring Inoue. I'm like, he's comparing him to Crawford. He's comparing him to Spence. So I'm like, okay, let me look into this. If you're going to say all this, okay, how about you go up 4 pounds and fight Fulton? If you're going to compare him to Crawford and Spence and all these other guys.
Did you know that Inoue already moved up in weight?
He is better than
Did
Crawford.
you know that Inoue already moved up in weight?
Yes.
Did you know that? No, you don't.
3 pounds.
No, you don't.
Both 3 pounds.
I'm saying he dominated 118. So why can't you?
No, brother. Boom, boom. He dominated.
He's pushing.
There's one guy left at 118. From what I remember, there's one guy left at 118.
Boom, boom. He dominated 3 divisions. He dominated already 3 divisions.
But
all of them.
The difference between the divisions is literally 3 fucking
Mirage,
pounds.
you're so predictable. You're so predictable. In these lower weight divisions, it's very hard to move up. Like moving 3 pounds is a big deal for these little guys. That's the thing. Yes, well, that's the reason why they did it. Mirage, that's the reason why. I don't care if you don't like the explanation.
Why does Inoue have to go up? Why can't Fulton come down? You know,
exactly.
It's only 4 pounds.
I agree with that too.
It's only 4 pounds.
No, what these guys do is devolve the conversation.
Come down 118. There you go.
He knows. And let's be honest, boom, boom. You're here representing the LDBC. You say it every time you come here. You represent. Then you said, I'm on with those other channels, and they say he has to fight Fulton. Is that a shock?
I mean, come on.
Let's be honest.
You should move away from that.
Yeah.
These guys devolve the conversation to their Afrocentric views.
The conversation.
Hold on.
That's called casualism.
Hey, Mexicans do the same shit.
Can I give you
who's the top guy at 122? Who's the top guy at 122?
I mean, I don't know. There is.
Okay, who's the top guy?
Between
We're not naming all black people.
Yeah, he lost to Figueroa.
Between MJ and Fulton.
But you just admitted his Fulton. So we want the 122 top guy to fight the 118 top guy. The 118 top guy that everyone keeps bigging up. That's
Exactly.
it.
Why don't you tell Fulton to clean the division and become undisputed first?
Hey,
okay.
if he beats Fulton, nobody's gonna even debate about
got
it.
demands.
Nothing to talk about.
Why can't he just clean his own division? How about that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at the guys he beat. He won the title off of. It's not like he's taking out killers. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. Let him at least. I'm just saying he hasn't. That's just the facts. You know, this way, comparing the level of talent.
All good fighters.
But some people think some people say, a lot of people felt he lost that Figueroa fight. Let's just be honest.
I mean, it's boxing. Shit happens.
I thought he won.
Let's look at the facts. Inoue's already moved up a bunch of weight divisions. Fulton hasn't done that. He hasn't won titles in multiple divisions. I don't understand why this metric now all of a sudden. I don't understand why this metric now all of a sudden that Fulton is the guy to be. Like I said before, Fulton has a lot on his plate already. Figueroa rematch, MJ, maybe even
Figueroa's already at 126.
And to his credit, Fulton even admitted that. And Fulton even said that. Like when it was talked to him about anyway, he's like, yeah, he's done all that shit. He's already cleaned out divisions. I haven't even cleaned out mine yet because he's a professional fighter and he knows what's going on and he recognizes skill.
Hey, by the way,
cleaning out 130. Let me give you an example. Cleaning out 130 is not the same as cleaning out 135.
Let me just say something real quick. Shout out to Recognize who's in the chat. Shout out to Recognize. I know he's busy, but he finally showed up in the chat. He left a comment a while back, but shout out to Recognize. I hope you're doing well.
How you doing, brother?
On the panel soon, man. All right, sorry about that. Go ahead, Ray.
So, yeah, cleaning out certain divisions is not the same as cleaning out other divisions. Cleaning out 130, like right now, wouldn't be the same as cleaning out 135.
Depends on at the time. There's times that 130 been the best. I remember back in the late 80s, 130 was one of the best divisions. Right, currently. So it is. It's all fucking, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's nuances and everything.
Jimmy.
Yes.
I'm going to say, like, historically, like, bantamweight, for example, nobody gives a fuck about bantamweight. I mean,
that's not true, dude.
Look at some of the stuff.
Look at Madison. Mirage, who says that, dude?
He's just baiting you.
That's him. None of the fighters are
garbage.
None of the fighters are known. Nobody knows.
All right. Okay,
you knew Jimmy wouldn't like that question. You just
ducking.
So
no, dude. Listen, you don't ask questions, but no. Historically, they've done well. Madison Square Garden's had sellouts with fucking with 128 pounds, 126 pounds, 122 pounds. Sellouts at Madison Square Garden.
Why do you fucking care if they're the same size and the camera zoomed in? What the fuck?
Who was a sellout at 122? Who was a sellout at 122?
Jimmy, you're arguing with a guy. Jimmy, you're arguing with a guy who doesn't watch fights and who watches boxing on and off every 5 years.
Is that true? Wait, hey, Mirage, wait a minute. Is that true?
Yes,
yeah,
true.
Mirage, man, you got some fucking commitment to your fucking stance for a guy who never watched boxing.
Let's hear Pete. Let's hear Pete. Pete wants to say something. Hold on.
Reputation.
Pete, go ahead.
You don't have any reputation. You don't have any reputation.
Let me just finish. So when you're dealing with a guy whose arguments are everyone knows and nobody cares. I mean, that's you should. That's what I'm saying.
I just gave up on this.
He's trying to bait you, man. He's trying to bait you, Jimmy. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, wait. I think you guys.
I was also defending Inoue because it's not just him saying some silly things about that weight class, and just because they're not familiar with it or familiar with the fighters, it just does a disservice to them as fans. Is all as I'm saying. I'm not offended by it. I feel bad. That's all because they're missing out.
Jimmy, can someone stand out at a weight class but you not know the weight class?
Yeah, Pete, go ahead, man. Pete wants to.
Yeah, guys, all I'm saying, I've been listening to this fucking brain trust for the last 20 minutes, and I missed the first part of the show, but I gotta say, man, two things. If they're both the same size, like all these guys are small. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've ever been like seen a welterweight or whatever, but like, I mean, they're fucking all pretty small guys. So if they're the same size, until the referee walks in and looks like the teacher breaking up two kids fighting. You really can't tell. How can you really tell how fucking big or small they are? That's number one. No, listen,
if you watch midget porn,
the second thing is as far as the location of the fight, America versus guys. I mean, I'm an American, and there's a bunch of us in here. I don't go there. It's on the West Coast for us. It's like 4 hours away. I watch this shit on my TV just like everybody else does. So I don't give a fuck. I can't really tell where it is. I mean, I'm just watching a TV screen, like you guys. Just keep that in mind. I just want everybody to keep that in mind. We're not all going to these fights.
I'm in the minority. I've actually watched 2-3 fights at the same time in my PC.
You're a nerd. Get you out of here, man. Yeah, nerd. No, but man, listen. I want to tell Mirage, if you listen, I'm onto your game, but I understand it's entertaining. So I wanted to tell you, man, if you want to go to another panel later on, go to What Rapids channel. If they're on, maybe in
send me a link, bro. Send me a link. I'm fucking there.
Send me a link. I'll be there, bro. The thing about it is, Mirage, all I'm saying is, don't turn it into people trying to convince you of something.
I mean, you're going to group tonight.
I just find it's just amazing how you become more aggressively self-assured. It just blows my mind. Like when the least on a subject the more aggressively self-assured you become.
Well, you're presupposing that I'm like uneducated on the subject.
No, well, based on what you're saying, we're making an assumption, I guess. But
are you denying that like the lower weight divisions?
When you say that you've never fought, you've never seen, you didn't know Salido, you didn't know who we fought, you knew nothing about his career. So going by that, I was just going by that.
And he's still confident. I mean, he says all these things. He's still confident that he's right. It's just mind-boggling.
That's what I'm saying.
Aggressively self-assured.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying.
It's like 20 versus 1.
That's why I'm saying.
Bucho's trying to talk, guys. Bucho's trying to talk.
PDA. That's why I'm saying you should go to What Rapids, because A, it's better organized than this shithole that we've got going out here, and B, it's the type of shit he's gonna love because it's just pure entertainment. It's people going back and forth. So right now, I think we're almost done here. Bucho, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I guess we should end it, man. We'll have a show tomorrow. What's that?
Can I make the second half of my picks?
Yeah, we're all waiting.
Yeah,
all right.
we can't wait.
Well, I mean, the randoms, anyways. But I got Frank Martin, Pavel Sila. I don't know. He's Russian, so I can't even pronounce his last name.
You're racist.
Anyways, I got Pavel, Felix Cash, and Israel Madrimov.
Madrimov.
Oh yeah, that's
those down.
Guys, Mr. B is right. We should end it. Call it a night. It's been fucking too long.
It's been fun. It's been fun, gentlemen. I'll see you next week.
Hey, Raj, hey, don't keep coming around, Raj. Just so you know, but you're hilarious, man.
Hey, I'm always happy to educate you guys.
Of course. Oh yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, listen to him,
Professor.
You kangaroo riding son of a bitch.
The professor.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to convert.
I think I watch more fights in a month than you watch in an entire year, and it's crazy.
Dirty rotten scoundrels.
And yet,
dirty rotten scoundrels wannabe.
And yet,
I've never
driven a hot bastard.
Hey, let me say something here. I put the link to What Rapid's channel on the Discord. Now you gotta keep in mind it's everything goes. It's freedom of speech, but it is anti-racism. That's the number one tenet. But they do allow people to say whatever they want over there because of that. So just be forewarned, it could get even more heated than it gets here. That's all I'm saying to anybody that's going to be
the Mexican LBBC.
That motherfucker's Mexican LBBC real talk.
All right.
But hey guys, thanks for having me on here, man. I can't wait for the Ron Garcia fight so we can talk about that.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be a good talk.
All right, man.
Is that logical, man? See you later, brother.
Everybody, you guys stay here if you want.
If you guys invite me, I'll come logical.
All right, everybody who's listening on YouTube, thank you for joining us. It was a pretty chaotic show, but that's what we want, I guess, on Fridays. Yeah, shout out to everybody. Let's see, J Money, take care, man. Membership program member. How the fuck do you call that shit? Recognize the Matrix, of course. Yeah, you got the email, man. Stay in contact. You're very busy right now. The Quacks, Black Lomachenko, Marian G. Who else do we have? Mohammed Rizwan, the Boxing Prognosticator, Liam Live, Joseph Fuller, Nes Mendoza, of course. Nes, what's up, man? All right, guys, listen. I think Mr. B is going to have a second Renaissance show tomorrow, obviously before the fights. And then on Sunday, we're going to have the post-fight show for Saturday's fights. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
It's a dark night. It's a dark